YouTube is there. It goes. All right, now we're live.
Now we are live for a brand new episode of Rambling Red Shirts. We're here to talk about all this fun, nerdy news. As there's been stuff that's been out or came out recently. Some cool stuff to talk about. It's a great time to be a Star Wars or a Marvel fan right now. Because we have Bad Batch going on. You got X-Men going on right now at the same day. And lots of other cool stuff coming out. So lots of fun stuff to talk about today. But more importantly, how's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Oh, hanging in there. Tired.
Tired. Agreed.
Tired becomes like the new normal once you get to a certain point.
In this economy? Yeah.
It's like...
You think we have it bad here in America?
Yeah.
Canada, they got it real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that Canadian economy, eh?
They're paying so much for a block of ice, it's ridiculous.
And they sell the ice.
They sell the ice.
That's cool.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, no, we're here to talk about lots of fun stuff. Shout out to Griffin in the chat.
Oh, wow.
First chatter of the night. Good to see you, buddy.
Beat Matthew Coburn to it.
What? That's insane.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Matthew, step up your numbers.
Hey, he deserves to slack a little bit.
Yeah. Look,
Gio,
you bring up a good point. Like, why is it that whenever you are always the person that does something,
they don't notice.
But when you, no. But then there's the person that never does it, and they don't give a fuck. But when you don't do it, but you do it all the time, that's when they notice.
It's a human psychology thing.
I know.
There's definitely something there.
There's a bunch of interesting stuff
for a podcast way smarter than this one. But
damn.
Throw us right under the bus.
Wrong.
I know a little bit, but I'm not qualified to talk about it. But I know enough to say that's definitely something. that is definitely something that you're onto something. You're onto something.
That he is. You know what else Chris is on?
What am I?
Where does the list begin?
Oh my!
My! A lot of things. He's on a lot of things, guys.
No,
but
I'm really
there's
not.
one thing. No, I'm joking. No, but in particular,
or am I?
No. Well, there is something you've been addicted to.
Baseball.
You try to enlighten us?
MLB The Show 24 has been released. Early access was Friday. It's officially been released as of yesterday. It hit 3 consoles. Switch. So that's right, Patrick. You can get it on Switch.
Wow.
Yes, with potato graphics.
With potato graphics. Hey, look, they've got it runs fine. It runs fine.
That's what I want. If I
because
buy
it's the Xbox One. It's the last gen version. They have an Xbox One PS4 version still. They're still making it for those consoles. So Switch has that same version. And then, so I guess it came out for 5 consoles, technically. If we want to be technical about it. Hell, if we want to be really technical about it, we could go every generation of the Xbox One. Anyway, I'm joking.
Well, let's just say, any modern game, sports game specifically, that comes out on the Nintendo Switch should include a big sticker on the front that says, now including potato graphics.
Kind of like the potato internet?
I mean, depending on your audience, that might be a selling feature.
Nah.
You're being literal about it.
Hey, it worked. It worked like hotcakes for Hogwarts Legacy. That thing sold better, I think, than any of the other consoles for Hogwarts Legacy.
No.
I don't
bullshit.
Let me see how many sales they have.
Oh my god, it's one of the top PC selling games of last year, dude.
Right.
Definitely, yeah. You're definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point, Griffin. That's what I was thinking.
What, baseball, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good looking game on the next gen consoles for sure. but you don't need it to be able to enjoy the game. Absolutely.
Here's the question though:
Right.
does it have
You
any
guys-
sort of crossplay or cross progression?
Yes, it's all cross play and cross progression.
You see, that'd be great for you.
Nice.
You know, like
Yeah.
if you're out traveling around and get a copy on your Switch. You know,
Yeah,
like if you're a
Yeah.
person that traveled more, that'd be great. For
Yeah,
you
yeah,
on your
yeah.
Switch.
yeah, exactly.
I was just looking here. This is gonna blow your guys' mind.
but there's
So,
also xCloud. It's on xCloud, so I could
at
just
the
play it
end
on
have
of
access
xCloud.
to
last
the internet.
year,
True.
uh, Spencer, you're gonna
If
find
you
this very
come visit
surprising.
me, you
Well,
see,
then
you're
it can't.
screwed, you see.
It can't be cross progression if I can't access my internet. The internet.
on his potato internet.
Okay.
French
So
fried taters.
apparently-
Marcus Covey. Hello there.
Oh my god, my brother's here. What's up, bro?
But I recognize
Well,
that.
then.
My real life brother.
Is that your brother
Uh,
just got married last September?
No, this is my.
It's
older
your other
They
brother.
got
Okay.
married a few years
I know.
ago. Yeah.
I know you have multiple brothers, so I didn't remember the
Yeah.
names.
So here's a mind blow for you guys. On
That you have a
Nintendo
brother?
Switch- No. Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom sold a little over 20 million copies on Switch.
Okay.
Hogwarts Legacy sold 22 million on
You're
Switch.
saying it was the highest selling game on Switch, is what
On
you were
Switch,
saying.
but we don't know.
Not that
I
it was
haven't
the
looked-
highest Hogwarts Legacy
Yeah,
version
I gotta
sold.
look and
I
see
got
what
you.
the- I gotta see
It
what
definitely
the
was
sales
not
numbers
the
are.
highest. Yeah, it
That's still
definitely sold more than that.
was about to say,
on,
Hogwarts Legacy did huge numbers for single player games. Like it's
especially
enormous.
on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
I didn't
and
realize it
PC.
was that good though. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Even
pretty
if we're
sure.
just considering the Switch alone. Like,
Well, yeah,
that's
for the fact that it went
Just
like
the Switch
that,
is great.
just a Switch, that's pretty amazing. And Ubaldo, what's
Welcome
going
to-
on?
And
Yeah.
20
How's it
million,
going?
that's a big number.
That is, it's kind of crazy when you start thinking about that, right?
Well,
that
the
means
game
they-
came out in February of last year, like the first February 2nd, right? Wasn't that it?
Mhm.
Ish.
Ish.
I don't remember.
Last
but that
year.
sounds right.
But then it didn't come out on Switch until June.
I don't think they have total sales numbers necessarily listed by platform.
So that's
I
pretty
just have it
impressive
ranked. I've got it
that,
ranked.
it's still sold that much. Because Tears of the Kingdom came out in March, right? April?
Oh, I guess that's a good time. A good
May.
point as well.
May.
when it came out.
So,
Yeah, May.
hey, and it outsold a month difference. Hey, Matthew Coburn, there you are, you slacker. What's going on, man?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and you know what's crazy about Hogwarts Legacy too?
Oh, that's total. That's
is-
total sales for the game.
I was
I'm
looking
sorry.
at. I don't remember exactly where,
Mm.
but I was looking at total sales for gaming in general in some place, like top 10 sales somewhere. I don't remember
Mhm.
where, but it gives you, whenever you do focus ins, it helps give you a general idea of like everywhere else, right? But anyway, this top 10 didn't have Suicide Squad in it for February. Skull and Bones was there at like 9.
Wow.
But Hogwarts Legacy was still up there.
That's
in the top 10
wait,
selling
which
games.
version?
I don't know. It was just generalized games of. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a specific console. It was just like very generalized in some country, and so I was like, that's
Oh,
crazy
okay.
to think about that still being high up there. Hogwarts Legacy still being up there. So, and like higher than Skull and Bones too. So.
Well, that's not that surprising. I mean, honestly, I played the beta, and it's
I'll wait for a
definitely
sale.
should
A
not
good
be
sale.
a $70 game.
Hey, this is the problem with live service games. Don't make them $70. All right.
just-
Yeah,
They need to
we
learn this.
paid that
Or
much
just
for
don't make
Suicide
'em
Squad.
live
But
service
yeah, we
games.
have to
How about
learn
that?
our lessons and not buy them like Suicide Squad. But the problem is
You know
the
what?
licensing.
Okay.
The licensing connection is what sells us. It's like, oh, we get to
You
play
know,
all
And
our
the FOMO. The FOMO sells
like if
it
it
too.
did, if that game was a different game but didn't have the DC license to it, we wouldn't even touch it.
This is true, but I quite enjoyed that game. So
I do
got
too.
my
It's lots of
money's worth
fun.
out of
I've
it.
gotten my money worth too.
Yeah.
I've definitely got my money's worth, and I have definitely gotten my $40 and Game Pass subscription worth for early
There
access
you
of
go.
baseball. And yeah, I'm still playing grind. They've definitely made it a little more grindy this year, but I appreciate that. It makes it kind of feel more accomplished when you get the better cards and get better players. So, yeah.
Yeah.
MLB the show.
I have a question.
Sure.
Where can people watch you play this?
Oh, they can come check us out on Twitch. .tv/Red Shirts Remastered.
You can see Chris whack a ball or me land a plane
Yeah,
right there.
right
On the-
there.
on
Or sometimes
Twitch.
we
Twitch.
night forts as well.
Sometimes we do night the force.
Hey, Cat,
Like
what's
we did
going
the other day.
on?
Cat, what's up?
I feel like and we've stormed some speeds before. We need to get back into that. I'm waiting.
Speaking of
The
We've
new,
thieved the seas.
I need to know what the new season is because the Little Mermaid is fun, but like, it's not as it's. I don't know the characters. They how they
All right.
implemented them. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
Frustrated.
I was gonna say though, you're saying something about Speedstorm. Big
Mhm.
shout out to Stormy though over on our Twitch.
Oh
though.
yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. Stormy showing up,
Big number.
being follower number 100,
Yeah.
and then subscribing, and then gifting 5 subs. Like
Absolutely
holy
amazing.
crap! Yeah.
Yeah, and so,
So-
yeah, be sure to go check us out on Twitch where we do gaming stuff, and
Yes.
yeah, we'll be doing more sooner than later.
Definitely. Definitely. Probably Friday. Be my guess.
Oh, yeah,
Probably
probably
Friday.
actually,
Yeah.
probably.
I have some breaking news for you guys. So there's a friend of mine and Spencer's that we play with on Xbox, Whiskey Wires.
Mm-hmm.
Just found out he is having a boy with his wife.
Aw, that's great.
So passing along the news.
Now answer your brother's question, damn it.
About the QR code? No, it does
No.
not get you rickrolled.
No. No, his next
Oh,
question,
that's
his
funny.
valid
You
question.
guys play Zero Build. I'm big into Fortnite lately. Yes, that's all we
Yes,
play
that's
is
what we
Zero
do.
Build. And then
Join us.
we've been playing also what's that rock band mode?
Fortnite
The
Festival.
festival's
we
fun.
play
And Lego.
They're expanding on like
Yeah,
they've
you guys play
added a
Lego.
lot. They've added so much. So there's so much cool announcements that came out for Fortnite today.
Oh yeah. We'll get into
Oh
that.
my gosh, it is so much. We may get into that later.
We
but
may
we have
get
a bunch
into
of other
that.
stuff to talk about.
Yes.
But anyway, carry
Anyway.
onward. Patrick, what is your pick of the week?
With my pick of the week, these guys ranted and raved for weeks. They said, "Go get your tail in the theater. Go see Dune Part
Me.
2."
Me.
One
Specifically
person.
Spencer.
I haven't said it because I haven't seen
Let-
I haven't seen it. I'll probably wait till it hits max.
Let me make this abundantly clear. This is not the first time Spencer has done this. He did this with me, the Dune Part 1. He's like, "Go theater now, go." And so this is twice in a row. So now I got to go see it. This time I went and saw it at my new local theater, which is
fancy.
Imagine Entertainment. And so I went and saw it on their ERX screen, which is kind of like a 40X. So not
Nice.
quite IMAX, but still really high quality picture. The sound was
The
amazing.
Irks.
The Irks. So I didn't get that full IMAX like Spencer did, but damn, great movie. Really enjoyed it. The big scenes that were shot in IMAX were still portrayed really, really well, as close to IMAX
Amazing.
could get without being IMAX. So I did enjoy seeing that on the big screen. The theater had the nice recliners and it even had a heated feature. Even though I didn't use it, I was like, these chairs.
yeah.
have
Why
heaters?
didn't you
Like,
use it?
what? Because I'm always hot.
It's not about using it. It's about
Oh, you're
knowing that you
sexy.
Sexy. No, but I got a big thing of popcorn and a drink. I sat back, watched it. Overall, I really enjoyed the pacing. The pacing is something I got to really commend about this movie because it's almost a 3-hour movie, and the pacing is just so good. And Spencer will probably agree to this. It does not feel like a over 2.5 hour movie. It feels like maybe a little over an hour and a half. By the time you walk out of the theater, you're like, dang,
so
time
well.
flew by.
Yeah.
Just the way they pace this movie is fantastic. And looking back on it, that first 2 hours is a bit of a slow burn, but the way they paced it is really well done.
It's great.
And that last 30 minutes is just like freaking mind blowing. I just
It's
sit
so
back in the
great.
theater, just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. That last 30 minutes, and you never know like where they're gonna take it next because it just keeps getting better and better and better.
It's so good. I think the director really did learn from the first one, and like he improved on like the pacing. I think is the biggest thing he improved on. Like the first movie's great, but like he really did improve on it.
Hey, Castro. What's
Did
up,
you
Castro?
get this? Your brother wants to know if you got the sandworm popcorn bucket.
No, we did not get the Dune 2 butt popcorn bucket.
And Castro wants us all to sign his chest. So, but
Sign your
I think we
chest?
should sign his butt instead.
We'll sign his butt, and we'll sign
butt
his
cheeks.
popcorn bucket.
His butt cheeks. Sign your butt cheeks, Castro.
So I didn't get that popcorn bucket, but I did rewatch it last week. I went with my grandmother, who was a big fan of the first one, so we went to get together to see it. And they were having Regal was having this like nice other like Dune with like bucket with other symbols on it, and then this really nice cup that had like the I think it's a Harkonnen symbol on the top of it. It was really nice. If I had it up here, I'd show you. But
fail.
W butt signing.
You want W chest signing and W butt signing?
I'll take what I can.
Since there's 4 of us, should one of us do like one peck, and then one cheek, one cheek?
Look, Gio's the Canadian, so he gets to pick first.
Yeah, Canadian. He's up north. He gets first in line. What are you picking, Gio? Are you picking his chest? Or are you picking
right cheek?
butt cheek?
I gotta go
left peck.
I gotta go right butt cheek.
Oh! now we'll go youth before age. Spencer, what are you picking?
Oh, Castro, buddy. Listen, we're close, all right? You know I'm going with that other cheek.
Oh! All right, Patrick, do you want the left or the right peck?
I feel like I'm always hitting so close to Castro's heart, so I got to go with that left peck. Left peck.
Okay, there you go. All right, so I'll take the right peck.
I'm always hitting the man in his feels, so I got to go left peck.
Oh, that's good.
Oh shit!
Guess that leaves the right peck for Chris.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? You want to trade? You want to trade one of these guys?
No. I'm good. I'm good with the right peck.
You're not gonna trade it.
If he's right-handed, that's the strongest peck, you know, from all the
in
whacking off.
2027?
So you know.
But yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, popcorn buckets, they're all the craze now in 2024, so we gotta mention that. Briefly, I do want to give an honorable mention to the new Ghostbusters popcorn bucket coming out very soon.
Buckets.
There's article.
There's 2 of them.
2 of them.
I love
The Slimer one, the Slimer one at Cinemark is pretty cool. The Regal.
The slime green all over your popcorn when you
God, the butter.
Oh,
Is that real?
He said also valid.
All right, who's next with their pick of the week?
Well,
Gio. It's Gio next.
Gio's turn.
Gio!
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was having some trouble. Like, you know, when we do a pick of the week, for me, typically I like to go with something that I've something I've experienced recently. It's fresher in your mind, and then it's something that is more honest instead of just like you're going through a back catalog of 30 years of plus of stuff. And in any case, so this week I decided to go with a game on the PlayStation 3 from 2009. You know it, it's Demon Souls. So I guess if you don't know the game, it's the origin, I guess you could say, of the Souls series. So by now you might have heard of Dark Souls. I've talked a lot about that game and about its sequels, Elden Ring and the like. I've gone on ad nauseum, but one I really hadn't experienced that much of was Demon Souls. I do own the game on PS3, but I hadn't gone a lot. I never really completed the game, so I spent a lot of time in the last little while playing it. And there was a lot of things that I noticed about the game. There's so much of the influence of that game that was built upon in the other games, and you really see it in games like Dark Souls 3, for example, takes a lot from that. 2 has a lot of elements of it as well, and even up until Elden Ring, it really shows to me on multiple levels how, like, in terms of the development, they really built upon what they had from that first game all the way through, and I think it really shows you from a game design perspective, I think, what you can accomplish over the years, and from a narrative perspective as well. And I think there was a whole thing of, okay, why wasn't it Demon Souls 2 after the first one? And there was a whole rights issue, like Demons. I can't remember the specifics right now, but it was a PlayStation 3 exclusive, Demon Souls, and then obviously after the fact for Dark Souls and the further games were all multi-platform. The interesting thing with that game, there hasn't been many opportunities to play it outside of the PS3 version. There is the PS5 remake that we got that was in 2020 now. So I mean, there's those two opportunities to play the game. I would say if you have the opportunity to play the PS3 one, definitely go with that. If only for the original vibe of the game, as well as there's a lot of options nowadays with stuff like if you have a good enough computer, you can play it on that with RC PS3, the great emulator that can run the game all the way through. And then you have the options for things like potentially some mods, some save editing, and things like that. But ultimately, I think it was a good starting point for the series. You know, it really put it into perspective of me as well when we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch selling 20 million copies. Original Demon Souls, I believe.
That was actually, hold on, correction. That was the
total sales for the whole game.
Yeah, that was the whole game. Yeah.
Either way, let's put it in perspective. 20 million copies in any sense. Demon Souls, I think, only sold over 1 million, less than 2 million, I think. So it puts that into perspective of like, I mean, even 1 million copies of any game is nothing to nothing to laugh about. But I think when you look at the humble beginnings that had in relativity to what we're seeing with like Elden Ring now, it just goes to show they just had this vision from day one. And you can even go before Demon Souls, right? There's a lot of elements that go back to the King's Field series and stuff like that, which we don't have the time to go into all of that, but ultimately what it's just what this game really showed me was just the journey that they've taken from that game. They've stuck to their guns and their vision, and they've accomplished so much over the years with that. And I think if you want to see where that started, whatever method you could have to play that, whether it's the remake, the original, definitely go and give that game a try. Demon Souls on the PS3 or the remake on the PS5.
I've played a little bit of the remake on PS5, and it's good. I didn't get far because I suck, but I might be a bit better now after playing some Elden Ring and just having more practice in general with like Souls mechanics.
There's also a lot of things too where if you just know the right place to go, you can unlock things that make the game a lot easier. And it's nice to see that they had that even in Demon Souls, because there was, I found some stuff where I was like, oh wow, if you did this at the beginning of the game, you would be so much more powerful. So yeah,
I definitely, for sure.
Just gives you a lot of options. And I think that's the thing when a lot of people talk about those games being difficult, right? It's like it's difficult when you first start because you don't know what the hell is going on. But like the more you learn, the more you're like, I got to the point where with Dark Souls, for example, where it's like I can essentially like do crazy challenge runs of the game. Like I was tried to play with shields only and stuff. just because I know so much about the game now that I can do it. So it's they're great games for that sense. A lot of replayability.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I could vouch. The PS5 remake is it's a great remake. I just didn't play much because I suck at that kind of game, but they're up there with great remakes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Awesome pick, Gio. Anyway, last but not least, well, at least I think, it's me. This is my pick of the
tooting your own horn, aren't we? Jesus.
Anyway, my pick of the week is I watched a lot over the last week. Because it was like a show I've like been gradually watching for a bit. Like on and off, I'd say over the past year. But then I watched like a good chunk of it this last like week, making sure I got caught up in time for the new show that just came out today, X-Men 97. So I was watching the original X-Men, and that's such a great 90, right? Hey, welcome in, Ronnie J. Good to see you here. But yeah, I was watching the original 90s show. That show's absolutely fantastic. It was my first time watching through all of it. I've seen a couple episodes here and there before, but like my first time watching it from like start to finish, and it's such a great cartoon. I love going back and watching old cartoons, and I really do think 90s X-Men, it's just up there with like being some of the best cartoons there is. So good. It's so great. I absolutely like it feels like what X-Men should be, you know. It feels a lot more pure than any of the live action movies we've gotten as far as like this is what X-Men is, right? And so great adaptions of the comic arcs. The characters are very faithful. Right. Well, I think it feels more like X-Men than any of the movies do. Like my favorite X-Men movie is Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I was gonna say Days of Future Past is the one that feels the most like X-Men.
But even then, I think this is just complete. Like it is X-Men, right?
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
And I think it perfectly captures what Claremont's X-Men was, at least from what I know of Claremont's X-Men. Yes. Like when they did the main arc that I'm like really familiar with in the comics because I bought it was the what is it called? It's the one to do with the Morlocks where they go in and do the Morlock stuff. That was like fairly close to the comics and it felt very accurate. Like not very accurate, but like it was there. Oh my gosh, I don't remember what that arc was called.
That like 1,000 times when it first. I remember I videotaped that on VHS, and I rewatched that episode like so. Well, there was a 2-parter, I think, but I rewatched it so many times.
But yeah, it's great. You have so many different arcs, so many different things. So many. It's X-Men, right? You have your main cast of X-Men. That's like great there. You know, my favorite mutant Wolverine's there. You know, Gambit. I mean, it's X-Men. It's so great. And yes, you're right, Marcus. One of the best TV theme songs ever, too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That is amazing.
100%.
Yeah, I think there's a video on YouTube. You can see what the guy who wrote the song, and he goes over how he came up with it. So yeah, definitely check that out if you have it.
And fun fact for anybody who might not have known, Spencer's got something really cool.
Oh,
are you going to get it, Spencer?
We lost Spencer.
He said 1 second.
Oh. He didn't set his
he didn't set his thing.
His image. Damn it.
I didn't.
You didn't set your image.
Go. Yes, you gotta show
avatar.
it. There you go. I got to meet Cal Dodd. You know, I got this nice Hasbro's been doing like these really nice like VHS boxes as part of their like plastic thing when they started it. And so and it came with this Wolverine and so they started doing like the 90s like stuff and they've now like expanded doing like the 90s Spider-Man on these VHS stuff. Anyway, I got to meet Cal Dodd last year, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, it says to Spencer saying I go where I want to go, and he actually charges extra for adding a quote on there, something like weird like per word. But I was first to meet him that Sunday when me and Patrick went to Comic-Con like a year ago. Like just around this time,
literally a year ago.
Yeah, which is freaking.
And you know
awesome.
What's crazy, Spencer?
What's that?
Is his line was like, I remember specifically, his line was like so dead that whole weekend. You watch after this show hits Disney Plus this week, every con he's gonna go to, his line's gonna be so long again.
Oh, you know what's crazy? You know. So okay. I went to Comic-Con like 2 weeks ago, about when they just had it here again, and you saw how short his line was, but you saw how he
was so empty almost all weekend.
There's other lines that's just like a little longer for like other voice actors, right?
Yeah,
that's how long they had Troy Baker, and then they had like this whole long queue line. It's like, why do you give a tiny line that's almost just a tiny bit longer than what Cal Dodd has for Troy Baker.
Or
Yeah,
Troy
that's
Baker.
the
Yeah,
fight.
come on.
That's-
Come on.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Who did you end up
So-
meeting? Speaking of, before we move on, who did you end up meeting at Comic-Con this year?
Well, I got a picture with Troy Baker because that's who my close friend that I went with wanted to meet.
Okay.
And so, because he's a huge Last of Us fan. Everybody else I met was just a bunch of different comic creators. I got a bunch of different autographs from
Nice.
different comic creators.
Awesome.
Most notable was Jim Shooter, who
Okay.
he was the editor-in-chief for Marvel in a while,
Mm-hmm.
and he also he wrote the original Secret Wars,
Oh wow.
and
In the 80s, right?
so in the 80s, and so he took over what was Stan Lee's job. And
damn.
he was, I got to talk to him so originally he was like the first person that I met. Went up to him. There's a couple people behind me, so I kind of just like got my autograph and left. Didn't spend much time talking to him, but then later on there wasn't anybody at his table near the time when I left. But I talked to him for like the last 15-20 minutes I was there. I was just talking to him, and he's telling me about like old printing and some of his early career. He actually worked at DC first before he was at Marvel. He wrote some like Superboy stuff. And then he is talking about Marvel stuff. He told some like stories about like Stanley, how they'd party together, write each other back and forth, which is really cool. And so it was great. Like he actually had like some of their like letters that they wrote back and forth like with him there. Because he had like 3 whole binders of stuff that he worked on that he could tell stories about. You could just flip through it, and he's just a storybook right there, which is super cool. And so
Very awesome.
very cool guy, Jim Shooter. And I got to meet other people too, like other different artists. So hold on. Okay, I have to show you all this. One moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And on top of that, another cool thing, Spencer and I don't remember, did we talk about it? We might have talked about it last week. I forget. Let me see if I've got it here. So we actually got to meet this one guy last year who was back again this year. Here it is. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to grab.
This is
Oh,
not
actually,
the
I
thing
gotta
you
grab
were
something.
looking
So
for.
Spencer just
Oh.
finished the
I do have
comic,
that.
but he got to meet one of the guys who was there last year who came back again this year named Kyle Starks, who
He's the
wrote
writer.
this comic,
Mhm.
6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, which Spencer just finished. We'll have to maybe pick his brain about that later on if we have time.
The artist was also there this year.
The artist was with him this year from this comic.
Yeah,
But he signed one to Spencer, and last year he signed it for me as well. So
yeah. I got both his autograph and the artist autograph. in there.
Artiste.
should've
I think
grabbed
he's
that, but what I grabbed.
pretty
Speaking
chill,
of
kind of
artists,
cool guy.
yeah.
I liked him. a lot.
He's great. All right. So he wrote this comic called Marvel Unleashed, which is this idea of essentially pet Avengers. Like you have like Doctor Strange's Ghost Dog, Inhumans dog, Falcon, like all these different like pet Avengers essentially, right, together. And I got him to sign my first issue of that because I was like, this is a great little mini series. He's like, yo, you know what? I'm actually glad somebody read this. It was even funnier as well. He was like, I don't know why Marvel asked me to do this job. He's known for doing all these mature stories. And they're like, hey, do you want to do Pet Avengers? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Only if I can do it where they go to hell, which is what happens. And I had no idea that was the premise going into that storyline. And
wow.
it was crazy because you just read about it like, oh yeah, all friendly like pet
Going to
Avengers
hell.
fun, right? And then next thing you know, in the first issue, they're going to hell. Or one of the big dudes from hell is like appears.
Is there
It's
a
like,
Ghost
what the
Rider
fuck?
pet? Like
No,
damn
no.
it.
But it deals with I think it's Mephisto's son.
Ah!
I don't remember his name.
What did he want?
Is
Like
he
a
a
pet?
dog
He
too?
wanted a pet of his own.
It's this whole no. His storyline was very more like traditional. It got routed into where like one of the main characters was this new original dog who's trying to find like where his owner went to. That got into like this whole mischievous plot. And so, anyway, going back to what I got though. Speaking of artists, I got to meet David Lloyd, who did the art for one of the biggest ever graphic novels, or comics in general. If you look at top 10 lists, this is about on like every single one. V for Vendetta. They made a movie of it. The movie adaptation, I think, is pretty solid. Anyway, the artist was there, and what's really cool is he offers to do a little sketch. And so this is like this was
that's
my
cool.
personal favorite autograph I got this year says to Spencer, and
So
he
he
writes out
sketched.
he did this
Not
little
every
sketch
day
of
you get
V.
a sketch in your comic signed.
Yeah,
I know, right?
By the
my
artist.
V for
Wow.
Vendetta, but book that's been with me for years, and so
Mhm.
it's so cool. But yeah, Comic-Con was great this year. I met other like comic people as well, but that definitely the highlights there. Anyway,
I remember you told me about Jim Shooter. I was like, "Holy cow, that's not a small name for comic book fans. That's a really big name."
yeah, he does a lot of cons and stuff, so cool to see him come by. So,
Especially since
yeah.
Stan's passed and you can't meet Stan anymore. You know, that's
Oh,
another
yeah.
big name up in the list that is a big part of Marvel.
Yeah, for sure.
Still one of the living legends.
For sure. It was very cool being able to chat with him, and I got a picture with everybody too. So, yeah. But yeah, my pick of the week: '90s X-Men. Fantastic show. But the X-Men's talk doesn't stop there.
Ooh.
At least two of us have watched X-Men '97, which is absolutely amazing. All right, I'm not going to give you spoilers.
Yeah,
since
let's
it
go
just came out
spoiler
today.
free.
But it picks. There's a time jump, but it does pick like. I'm not gonna say right off, but it does pick off from where
within
the '90s show.
It's
ended.
within like a year for sure. It feels.
It
like.
feels like a.
It's months. Yeah. It's definitely months. I think they mentioned how long it's been since. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the '90s X-Men show,
it's also spoiled on. If you're going where I think
yeah.
you are, they also spoil it in the trailer. So.
Yeah. Xavier's been killed. He dies at the very end of the '90s series, and it picks up basically that same year. So
when we say killed, just killed, just it's comic book killed.
Well, because what's interesting, I will say this. I will throw this spoiler out for the intro. Is how like in the old school intro they show all the mutants and everything, and this one they do the same thing and they still show Charles Xavier as well. They show so that made me. I'm like, wait a minute, when's he coming back? Because if you remember, in every and just like any comic book, anybody can come back. It's a comic book, but they always try and find ways to bring Professor X back.
Yeah, I mean. If you remember how the '90s show ended, it very much set it up. I'm not going to say how, but it very much set up that he can return.
Wasn't there one
even
of the
though
movies
he's
more recently where he died and then
the after credit scene of Last Stand?
Yeah, and then it was in another person's
we won't talk about that though.
So I mean,
you know what? We shouldn't be so harsh on Last Stand after seeing how Dark Phoenix turned out, okay?
And Apocalypse.
Yeah, I literally fell asleep during Dark Phoenix, so there's that.
Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse were awful. Oh,
I'm not sure what's worse about. Well, I don't know. Apocalypse is just boring. It's not awful.
Like it was boring. It was very boring.
Here's the thing. Apocalypse has that redeeming aspect of that one great Quicksilver scene.
True.
Other than that, there's not a lot else that movie has.
That is very true. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
X-Men. X-Men '97 is great. I love the updated intro when they like kept the music.
Yes, and
like,
the
oh my god.
Yeah, and they still did the Brotherhood versus the X-Men, which is great. So
it was shown, I think, in one of the trailer shots or something that they revealed ahead of time, but one of the shots of Magneto in one of the episodes was taken directly from the cover of one of the comics.
Yeah,
and that was awesome to see. They give a lot of love to just X-Men in general, specifically Claremont's era there, as that's what they're mostly adapting.
They're definitely it's a great to see the direction they're going. And yeah, I'm very excited for everything that they're going to be doing, because what they've already done so far in the first two episodes sets up so much of stuff that's happened in the comics that we already know about. If you know comics, X-Men comics, and that is one of the comics that I know a ton about. Is X-Men.
It's super exciting.
It's
you know,
super
like, all the different things
exciting
they've
the
set up.
direction they're going. Really, really exciting.
Yeah.
And that's why
So good.
that's why Days of Future Past is seen as one of the most comic loyal
Mhm.
things because of the things that they've done and like the whole thing with the
Such an
Sentinels and
interesting-
everything. And yeah.
You know what's so interesting about like just X-Men in general,
Hmm.
at least when you look at the comics, is so many of the big comic arcs are stuff that's not in the main continuity.
True.
The biggest arcs aren't in the main continuity. You know, you have Age of Apocalypse, Days of
Mhm.
Future Past. It's crazy when you think about all these different comic arcs are just big and not part of it. Old Man Logan, I guess.
Old Man
but, like,
Logan, yeah.
That's great. I mean, the whole reason
Yeah.
why we got Logan. But anyway, X-Men 97 is
X-Men
absolutely
97,
fantastic,
yes,
guys.
it
You
is.
need to watch it. Maybe we should do a full-on review at some point. That'd be great to do.
Yeah,
actually.
Once
You want
it's
to see
all
us do
the
an
first
X-Men
season's
97
done.
show?
Yeah.
Who is everyone's favorite X-Men character? Marcus asked. Oh, well,
That's
you could
such a
probably
tough
guess
question.
mine. Because I've always loved Wolverine growing up, and so yeah, mine's Wolverine because he may not just be my favorite X-Men character. He's very possibly like my favorite Marvel hero in general.
Mm.
So
For me, it was probably Cyclops. I specifically remember. I think there was an X-Men game that was on Sega Genesis. wanna say it was
the fighting
Sega Genesis.
game. Which one? The
No,
fighting
it was a
game or
side
the-
scroller.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. It was on Genesis.
Yeah. And I
yes.
specifically remember it was funny because the
Cyclops,
person
yeah.
asking the question is the guy I played it with in the living room.
Yes.
Back at my parents' house. And we were playing that. I don't even remember. We might have rented it or something because I know we didn't own it. But yeah, I specifically remember playing
Remember that
Cyclops
game,
a lot
yeah.
on the Sega game.
That game also
way
had
back in the day.
Nightcrawler. It had
Had
Gambit.
Nightcrawler, yep. Gambit
my
was in
gosh.
there before I even knew
Colossus.
who Gambit was. Colossus was in there.
oh my
It
gosh,
wasn't
I need
Jean
to-
Grey. It was.
And it wasn't like a super amazing game, but it was a fun game.
Yeah, I remember that game. It was a great game. Great game.
It's pretty dang good.
It sounds like I need to find a ROM of this. Like,
You do,
emulate it. Like, I'm gonna
absolutely.
do
Sorry,
that.
which one was
You could
this?
probably play it in
An
emulator.
arcade game?
Yeah, no problem. It was a side-scrolling game. I don't know. I
Or
don't
Mutant
think it was.
Apocalypse? Is that one you're talking about?
I don't know what it was. It was.
Could be.
It was on Sega Genesis. I know
Oh,
that.
Sega
Like a
Genesis,
side-scrolling,
maybe
like
not.
general, like platformer
It was almost.
slash.
It kind of reminded me of like the
X-Men 2,
Final
the
Fight
Clone
and stuff
Wars.
like
Is the
that,
one
or
you're talking
Streets of
about?
Rage.
Clone Wars?
Might have been.
No,
Clone
it was
Wars.
just called X-Men.
I think it was just X-Men though.
It was
Yeah.
just called X-Men. Yeah, I remember.
It was a side scroller.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
it's
so many
this
of
one
them.
right here. It's this one right here.
I'm waiting for the stream to catch up so I can see it.
There's the box art.
The stream is so far behind tonight. It's on like a delay or something. I don't know what's going on. It's like 30-second delay.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here.
We're gonna
Oh,
wait.
Yeah. I think I owned that one.
Patrick, your brother said, "God, I'm having nostalgia nom flashbacks."
Yeah,
That's it. That's the game. That's the
I-
game.
Yep.
I owned that one, and I think
That's
I rented the number 2, which was the Clone Wars.
Special edition poster inside includes maps and hints. I love it.
Really? Nostalgia non-flashbacks?
That's what. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get that part.
There's
on
so many
this.
things like my brother will mention some game from our past, and I'll be like, "Huh? What?" And then he'll show me the box art or some footage of the game on YouTube, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Wait,
man,
open
X-Men.
image.
What a
and-
great team.
There we go.
The
Jesus.
the thing of the
Ugh.
favorite X-Men is a
Hey.
really tough question to answer though for me, because it's like I'd have to really like delve into so much X-Men's past to like think about that. But for me, just off the top of my head, what it comes to mind is like I always loved the villains in X-Men. Like, so many good
Oh
ones.
yes.
Yeah,
you got
good
your
villains.
Mr. Sinister.
Mr.
He's
Sinister's a great
fantastic.
one,
You got
yep.
your Juggernaut. You got Omega Red. Guys like that.
Mega Red's fun.
And if we're talking of heroes, one that's an unexpected answer that, well, maybe for some people, I always really liked Rogue a lot.
Oh yeah.
because like
Great.
the whole thing of her
Rogue.
power, like her, you know, we see even in if we're talking about the X-Men '90s show, she has a variety of powers, but they delve into that in the show of how her original power is just the absorption of other powers, and that's how she gets her power of flight and her super strength and everything. Is you know from I think it was Miss Marvel, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like that I always loved her backstory, and then like she always has like had a great personality in that show in particular, and then in the comics as well there was a lot of, I don't know, just something about her character always drew me to her as one of the heroes in particular that wouldn't always be mentioned maybe. But yeah, like more so for me was like even Magneto. If we're going back to the villains, you know, there's so many, but I have to think about it a lot more to say like a concrete favorite of all time or anything.
If we're gonna go X-Men, it's a really tough choice for me between two, probably three of them, and two of them are very similar types of mutants, and that's Beast and Wolverine. But then Gambit for me, I love me some Gambit. His backstory is awesome. The whole Thieves Guild backstory is really cool. And just his power set is really awesome, and he's badass with that bow staff.
That's like, that relationship between him and Rogue is like one of the best things in like all of fiction. Like one of the best relationships. There's something about that that's always hit every time.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah,
that's great. That's absolutely great stuff. Great question, Marcus. For sure.
And then Ronnie J was talking about Storm as his favorite.
Storm is a great character for sure. Storm's great.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Your brother, did he say who his is? He's
No, he didn't. Marcus,
question,
what is your favorite X-Men character? Ronnie Jason's favorite X-Men villain is probably Mystique.
Mystique, he meant, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Mystique.
Yeah, mine is definitely Mr. Sinister for sure.
And mine's very close. Like
Magneto's.
Sorry, it's Magneto
though.
for me. It's Magneto for me.
See, Magneto is.
It's complicated.
It's very complicated. Is he a villain? Is he really?
Well, and then
is he really?
What interpretation of the character?
Did he really have two children, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch? Not in this MCU, he didn't.
I don't know. I feel like they could really easily.
They could easily retcon that.
I can't wait. Like in like Battle World, like
especially because the Tesseract was involved, so like they could be from another universe, you know.
Ian McKellen's gonna show up in Battle World, and then he's gonna look at Scarlet
it's gonna be Michael Fassbender.
Daughter.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. He's just gonna look at her and go, "Hello, daughter," and she's gonna go, "I don't even know who you are."
Yeah.
Like, I'm your old man. What are you talking about?
I think everyone thought in Multiverse of Madness when that was in the preview.
Yeah.
No. You know, when she was fighting the Illuminati, everyone thought that, oh, is Magneto gonna show up too? It's your dad.
I really hope we get Ralph Boner redemption.
Ralph Boner.
I really do. I hope he comes back for the final film, like, and then he realizes his powers, that he really is.
Jean Grey is Marcus's favorite. Okay, I like that.
Jean Grey.
Her powers are badass.
I've been saying it since day one, though, Patrick. They gotta have the White Vision and the Ralph Boner Adventures.
No.
Yes. I can't wait to see. There's supposedly. Do we even know if Vision Quest is still happening or not?
I don't
know.
Who knows with
know.
Marvel
and then
now?
All the stuff going on because Disney's canceling projects now. So
right, have you heard about what is specifically canceled?
What is love?
It was. I heard there's not going to be another Captain Marvel. There's not going to be another The Marvels.
So there's no Marvel sequel, correct?
Yeah.
There's no Eternal sequel.
No Eternal sequel.
Correct, but I've heard that the idea of that is going to be reshaped into something else. I don't know
Like
what.
a show or
Well, that makes
something,
sense.
maybe.
That actually makes
Well, I don't know what.
Like a
but
mini- like a
supposedly, I think they have
special-
big. Well, I think
You
they have
hate
big cosmic
Toad.
plans.
How can you hate
Yes.
Toad? That's literally played by Darth Maul. Come on.
So they're not going to do a sequel to the movie, but they're going to do something with the IP.
The idea of it, because it teases big stuff with Celestials. You have Star Fox slash is his name Ego, I believe. Is there not Ego? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, I know
Star
what you're
Fox
saying,
slash.
Star
He has
Wars.
another name.
Star Fox? Did you say
Star
say-
Star
Fox,
Fox-
that's Nintendo.
Yeah,
Star
that's his
Fox
actual
was
name.
is one of his names. He has two
Yeah.
names in the
Okay,
comics.
okay.
Arrows?
Oh, you're talking about what's his name? The
Harry
brother.
Styles.
Yeah, the Harry
He didn't use
Styles.
Harry
character.
Styles,
His-
yeah.
What's his
Because he
name?
has two
the
names.
brother.
Like
yeah,
Star
yeah.
Fox is his name. but I
Arrows.
think his name
It's
is
Arrows. Yeah,
Arrows.
yeah, Arrows. Yes.
And then what's his little buddy that's with him?
Oh my god, they have Pip the Troll there, and that made me so
Yeah.
happy to see him. That's what we need, a Pip the Troll show. All right. Okay, listen.
Yeah,
Pip
who
the
and
Troll
Pip comes in
was
and
like-
announced him. It was great. This is so great.
Yeah, I had no idea he was coming. I heard about Arrows slash Star Fox coming, and for anyone who doesn't know, like classic, like 80s cosmic comics, like Pip the Troll was like Adam Warlock's sidekick, and Adam Warlock is a
Yeah.
fantastic character in the 80s comics. One of my honestly one of my favorite 80s comic characters. He's fantastic. And having Pip the Troll there is just like a great comic relief there. So having him at the end of Eternals, I loved seeing him there because it was very much what Pip the Troll is. And also, I'm gonna say it, Eternals isn't that bad of a movie. I think it's better than a lot of what
It's
Phase
not that
4
bad.
It is
yeah.
definitely not that bad of a movie. Yeah.
Looking back on the rest of Phase 4, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna poo-poo on Eternals now.
I
Other than
can't
the fact that
really-
nobody mentions there's a giant hand and a head sticking out of the earth ever. That
You know what's
kinda
crazy?
bothers me.
they
That's what Captain America 4 is gonna address.
yes,
But now that movie is getting absolutely like
rewritten,
boned
right?
into screenings.
I thought
I
it,
have
They
to make it,
they did recent test screenings, and that
yeah,
movie.
I
is,
thought
like,
they were
got
rewriting it
abysmal
completely.
reactions.
Thought they were gonna
I
rewrite
don't know if they're
reshoot
rewriting
complete.
it. I don't know, but all we know is that's going to be a huge disaster.
I hope
for
it
him
doesn't
because
doesn't go way of Batgirl or Batwoman,
it's
Girl,
a
whatever.
honestly
Batgirl,
though,
yeah.
with how bad it is, it's very possible.
I know that's crazy.
It's a
to
very
think
bad
about.
position of
Which
Captain
sucks.
America. Like,
Well, yeah, because I bet you. Here's the thing that I'm assuming happened is that they didn't whiteboard it properly. All they thought about was like, okay, Anthony Mackie's the next Captain America. Let's just have some random
what?
movie. What's good? Oh, we have this thing we have to explain. Let's throw him in that.
Well, it sucks because it seems like you have a lot of great ideas, and this movie seemed like a great idea to help tie up several loose ends. Because it's finally connecting back to the Incredible Hulk, having Mastermind,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
society
yeah.
there, and
Yes.
so and having the big celestial hand, which I think they're, if I remember correctly, I think they're going to make that into Genosha,
Yes,
and so yeah, all sorts of stuff.
they were gonna. Yes,
we'll
that's how.
see.
Then they were gonna have like mutants go there and
starting
stuff.
bringing
Yeah,
in that. in.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a massive mess.
But I
And,
also
and Marvel's dug themselves into a big hole
Isn't
recently.
Thunderbolt somehow tied-
Connected?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and they're
thought-
filming that now or
yeah.
about to.
So,
So,
yeah,
It's a giant mess.
it's a giant mess.
I have to make it clear on the record for the podcast that I do not co-sign the Eternals.
That's fine. That's fine. Nothing
That's
wrong
totally
with that.
fine. You can have your
Okay.
opinions.
If you would, okay. For anyone that wants an actual good Eternal story, you could tell like the one they can kind of base it on is Neil Gaiman's Eternals. That comic is absolutely great, and it like follows the same overall like story, but like obviously it's a lot better because it's 12 comic issues versus however long the movie was, versus one movie. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
go check it out. But anyway, we're talking about a bunch of Marvel stuff, X-Men. I do want to quickly touch on some other X-Men news that came out during the past like several years. I'm trying to remember how long exactly when it first came out, but in the comics, X-Men has been in this big age known as the Krakoan era, and that era is coming to an end. They're doing their final arcs right now. The era began with House of X / Powers of X, and now it's going down with like Fall of House of X, and I don't remember what the other one is called. And so, anyway, point is they're ending it now, and we're now getting our first glimpse of the next era of X-Men, where there's going to be 3 main different titles, which is similar to what the Krakoa era had. Each one's different though, with different sort of teams leading, and you can actually like see like the whole general idea there of each of them in the main picture there, where you see there's the Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, X-Men written by Jed McKay, and then Exceptional X-Men written by Eve L. Ewing. Lots of great stuff there. Says From the Ashes, a New Beginning. And so really interesting teams we have here. Just regular X-Men. We have Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Kemper, formerly known as Oya, Magic, and Juggernaut there as part of the team. You see like Juggernaut has a different look there, which is very interesting. We have Uncanny X-Men, which this is the one that I might actually read this one.
Uncanny X-Men is
amazing.
Amazing. It's Uncanny X-Men.
The old one's great. Well, here's the thing, though. We have Gail Simone. She's a really good writer.
The old one is fantastic.
I personally haven't read much from her, but I've known her name is like she has a lot of credit behind her name, and so it's great to see her take this on. And this is the one that personally interests me. You have Rogue there, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Jubilee,
it's basically
Wolverine.
X-Men 90s
in
comic.
That's what
it is.
And so having that now for this modern one. And then the interesting one, though, is after hearing the premise behind Exceptional X-Men is very interesting, too, of where it follows Kitty Pryde, who left for a while, but now she's back, where she's now raising all these different new mutants, Bronze, Axo, and Melee, who you see there. Very interesting lineup there. And then you also see Emma Frost there.
I was going to say, Emma Frost is still...
She's there somehow involved there, and so they go into all that there. Very interesting. I mean, I like the lineups for each of the teams there. I think each of them has a cool, unique idea. You have your more traditional with Uncanny X-Men. You have your traditional X-Men that's still your like main X-Men team, but like changes it up, be unique for the era. I'm not sure, but I think that writer Jed McKay is was writing, because I think it's in its final arc of Avengers. And so it makes sense that this is probably what he's going to, and he already has experience writing team-up stories. And then Exceptional X-Men just kind of taking a new route, which it's cool to see. I think it's cool. Beginning this summer. Also revealed as a part of those 3 main titles, we're also having other titles. There's a Phoenix comic, X-Factor comic, Storm, Nyx, X-Force, and Wolverine. All coming, and those are like your side stories of like your whichever you sort of like. The X-Men comics are set up to where you have your main comics. So in this case, it'd be like X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. But then you follow. You could also follow like the smaller stories that you're also a fan of, like personal characters. Like for me, I'll probably personally check out Wolverine because I'm a huge Wolverine fan, and so, very cool to see where this goes. And you know what?
X-Force.
This is coming out.
You're not going to check out X-Force?
There's a good chance. I do want to read the one that was just happening or is going. It's about to end. It just depends. I mean, I need to see more on
what's
like,
New
X-Factor
York
and
X. That's interesting though. That's like because it's so X-Men, because New York X-Men is in New York. I mean, they're in Westchester.
I'm not completely sure what they're going to be doing there. Like those are just titles they announced. They're like, hey, these are coming.
I mean, Storm, Wolverine, X-Force, X-Factor, Phoenix. Those are all obvious ones,
right?
But
it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be that's the Morlocks and all that, Because
who knows? That'd be interesting coming Morlock.
Sure.
But and I'll say this: it's coming out summer. Very good chance you'll see this covered over.
Queen of the Morlocks.
Yes. I'll say very good chance, though, you will see me covering at least some of these, at least one, if not more, over on the Dingus Den. So,
aha, hee hee,
aha, hoo hoo,
aha.
So yeah, X-Men. That's it right there.
X-Men stuff.
I think it's an exciting future for the comics. It's a good jumping on point this summer for anyone that would like to start reading current X-Men comics. So. we'll see what that holds. We still got something else Marvel though. We got a trailer for Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra, a big cinematic story trailer. The big thing with this game is that's made in Unreal Engine 5. These are like in-game cinematics we're seeing, and this story looks awesome. We have Captain America. It's okay. In case you can't tell what year it is, it literally says it right there, guys. 1943.
Yeah.
And so it's this interesting idea of where it deals with. Well, you have Captain America there, you have Bucky there, like the classic Bucky there, right?
Classic Bucky.
But then what's also interesting is you're mixing in. There's a Black Panther there, but because it's 1943, it's not T'Challa, and
not
it's not the
T'Chaka.
It's not T'Chaka.
Oh jeez.
I so wanted to say T'Chaka, but I was like, I know that's not it.
It's T'Chaka's daddy.
You want some T'Chaka?
It's granddaddy Black Panther.
So it seems really cool. The story trailer has me like really kind of like sold on this unique dynamic between Captain America and this Black Panther.
The fact that you get to play both of them like really is cool. Yeah. I like that.
It's going to be really cool. And I wonder if we'll also be able to play as Bucky and isn't it like an
Melage? Yeah, it's the Melage, whatever they're called. I hate to.
Dora Melage.
It's Dora Melage. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I think this looks fantastic, though.
Yeah,
it's by Amy Hennig.
Yes,
who has a fantastic list of games under her belt. She knows what she's doing, and so that has me very excited for it too. And it coming next year.
Yeah.
For those of you who doesn't know, the main things that she's known for is the original Uncharted like trilogy, like 1 through 3. Those games are amazing, and so seeing her work on this is cool.
I wish we got her Star Wars game that got canceled. That's the one that got away.
Well, supposedly over at her studio, there's also a Star Wars game being worked on. Obviously, this is what's the focus.
So maybe there's a chance.
There's a chance that it's back or like twisted a little bit, but still the same idea. Because obviously, she had a great idea. It just got canned.
It's going to be a bounty hunter game originally, yeah.
Yeah. Is it just me, though, or is the Captain America model look a lot like Wyatt Russell?
Oh my god!
A little bit.
I do kind of see that. I was thinking subconsciously. It's like this shape looks somewhere like I've seen it before.
I'm trying to remember. Is that US?
It didn't act like at all like
US agent.
Yeah. US
no,
agent.
Not at all.
But it didn't act like him at all. So no. It'll be cool to play as him though.
Yeah.
It's that big Batman chin.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Chiseled look.
So
the Chad meme.
The Chad meme.
You know, around with the chiseled chin guy.
Yep. So
Giga Chad.
Does Gio have any thoughts on 1943?
Yes, I think
he's gonna share this around and be like, "Hey guys, look, it's the new Captain America."
Jesus, get out of here.
Get out of here.
I did watch the cinematic trailer for 1943. Obviously, no gameplay, so I mean, there's nothing you can really say about that. I thought they did a really good job with the graphics on it. There was one point where they were showing the faces of like two of the actors in particular, and it just looked like real people. Like I was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't really say much for the quality of the game, but they did a really good job with that trailer. I mean, it's hard for me to make a judgment beyond that because to me, it's like, I've been down this road before. It's like you can't judge a game based on the trailer. Yeah, I've been burned before. The wounds.
When did it start? World of Warcraft.
Ronnie J says Star Wars Outcast. It's for next gen consoles. No, that's the next
game in the
that's
lineup.
The next game in the lineup.
Yeah.
That is not the Amy Hennig game.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if Zynga finally releases their
oh
game.
god, here we go.
You know what's funny, Patrick, is they showed more of that today.
And let me guess, there's still no release date, right?
Still no date, but they did.
Speaking of, okay. Well, we may talk about that a little later. But speaking of Star Wars,
Oh yes.
Let's
Speaking
get
of
into
Star
that.
Wars, we
Let's
got
get
we
into
got a
that
big trailer.
segue in.
Was it yesterday or the day
Today.
before?
It was today. The
It
trailer?
was yesterday.
It was
It was yesterday.
The trailer?
yesterday. Yesterday. The trailer
Yeah,
for
yesterday.
Acolyte, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
yesterday. Yesterday, yes. Yes, it was yesterday.
Trailer
We're
for
tired,
the Acolyte.
we're
came
tired
out.
red shirts. We can't figure out what day of the week it is.
Well, yeah, because I remember now because we talked about it last night on D&D. Yes.
Yeah, I just gotta remember if it was Monday or.
It was yesterday.
That makes
Yeah.
sense because I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna wake up and then immediately watch it. That's
Mhm.
right. So anyway, we got the Acolyte trailer.
Mhm.
Next Star Wars show.
Starting with this
next
guy.
live action show, I should say.
You know,
'Cause
you
we're
gotta
still-
love the
we're-
furry guy.
The furry guy, right? Exactly.
Furry youngling.
Oh, which
man.
by the way, I did recognize that species. That's one they introduced in Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was in that room on I forget the name of the planet.
Wait to see, and I love her. What's the director's name? Patrick.
The what?
The director, the
director's
showrunner's name.
Oh, Leslie Headland.
Her reasoning for having Daphne Keene in this, I love because she was like, "Yeah, I just want to see X-23 with a lightsaber," and it's like, I love that. Like, you're not wrong, all right?
Yeah, you're
what
really
nerd
not.
doesn't want to see that? Oh.
Yeah.
Of
So-
course, we got the guy from Squid Game. He's going to basically
Yeah,
be
he's
one of the
great.
pivotal
I thought
main.
that
I
was
think he's
him.
basically
Yeah.
going to be our main character for the most part through this season.
Yeah,
Not
he's like the
main
detective.
focus, but he's one of the. He's like one of the main guys that you're going to follow
He's
throughout the show.
Essentially the detective.
So
Yeah.
he's going to
June
be
4th.
Batman the Jedi.
Batman the Jedi. And he does not kill, you know, because he's a Jedi. Wait, no, he'll probably kill because he's fighting
So
Sith.
Jedi kill only in defense.
Only if they offer him an inordinate amount of money.
Or much like Obi-Wan, if Sith steal in absolutes, then I got to kill you.
Yeah, I think it looks cool though. I think I hope the show is really good. You know, I mean, not
Me
just
too.
because it's
Yeah.
obviously just Star Wars, but I'm saying that in the means of we're exploring a different era here, and I think it has the potential to really breathe fresh here. Right, something that
Mhm.
about the show is that it's set 100 years before the Phantom Menace, right? But the other important thing that a lot of people aren't talking about as well with it is that it's also set roughly 100 years after Phase 3 of the High Republic. And
Huh.
we do have a character in this who I think her name's Venetia Rowe. She's this green alien chick. She I don't remember the species name, but she's like bald in it. She was originally in
Does she have face tattoos?
a little bit. It's more
She
like
kind of like
tattoos up here
is she
and-
kind of like Luminara from the
Yes,
prequels.
Yes.
Okay, she's a Miri Allen then.
Thank you. That's it. And so anyway, she was like originally introduced in Phase 1 of the High Republic. Phase 3 takes place like right after. As a Padawan. So we're seeing her here like roughly 100 years later, or a little over 100 years, 100-ish years later from her being a Padawan initially, which is really interesting.
They live pretty long. They live longer than most humans, if I remember correctly. The species does,
Something
but not as long as Wookiees or anything like that.
right. Well, something that I heard is like they have kind of like a more standard human, if not shorter, generally, like most of it, like usually. But I've heard if like they're force sensitive, then they can live up to like hundreds. Of
Yeah.
years.
Is that her in the background of the younglings? You go to
I'd have to. look
Yeah,
up
that
her.
looks like her, even though it's a little blurry.
where's it?
I'm waiting for mine.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. So there, right there, 29 seconds.
There is one shot where they do actually show her.
At 29 seconds.
Or is it in the big lineup of Jedi near the end?
Hold on.
Could be
I'm gonna
both.
find it. Okay, you
Mhm.
said 29 seconds.
Should have green.
Yes, that
screen.
is her in the background there.
Okay.
There's one part though where they actually show her. I don't remember exactly which shot, but they do show her at one moment.
I think you're right.
But
It's
yes,
the,
that is her.
the time when they're having all
So
the
she'll
aliens.
be
you
the
do see,
character
you do
that'll-
see it at 107. A minute,
107.
7 seconds. You actually see her like open the door there.
So is she going to be the glue
Oh,
between
yep.
the book, the
Yep.
comics, and this?
I
She
think in a
is.
way, like she's going to be one of those characters where, like, if
Because
you're
you gotta
someone that's
connect
read the-
them, so you have somebody to
right,
you
like
know,
she's going to
relate
be that
to.
connecting for anyone that's read the books is cool. And the other thing about High Republic that people may not realize is High Republic is a very generalized time frame. It's like 1,000 years
It
before
jumps around,
Phantom
right?
Menace,
A little
and then
bit.
going up to just before Phantom Menace is known as the High Republic, right? Or I think this show is actually like the ending of it, is what they're calling it.
The end of the High Republic makes sense.
Yeah. And so, but just because I think the point I was getting to though is like this could be a really good jumping on point for anyone that's interested in the High Republic, because it's going to be, while it's the end of it, you could get a feel for what the era was before the downfall of I think the show is showing.
And I'm sure they'll reference some stuff from.
Well, yeah, because the
books.
High Republic is essentially the whole era before the fall of the Republic, correct?
Right, 1,000 years before, and
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's kind of a
to-
time of peace with a few.
It's the golden
weird
era,
events.
the
that
golden
happen.
age.
Yeah, but it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
there's a lot of some
of the
weird stuff
Force.
that happens.
Golden Age of the
too.
Force is what
well,
it's called.
well, the main threat in Phase 1 and 3 is literally space Vikings, and they're awesome.
That's great.
Not Sith.
Not
Let me
Sith.
make
Not
that clear,
Sith,
yeah,
not
not
Sith.
No,
Well,
Sith
that's-
are.
I'll be honest.
Sith are way
They're in hiding.
before. Well, yeah, because
They're-
they've been gone since the Sith Wars, which is KOTOR times. You know, that's the old Republic.
Which, yeah, that's a whole.
That's a whole nother
That's
era
a
of Star
whole
Wars.
gray area
Whole nother
of canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
canon
yeah, we
now,
won't talk
yeah.
about this.
Like-
Not get into that. Yeah.
That's a screaming debate right there. with
Oh
some people.
boy, yeah. Oh no, yeah. We're not gonna talk. Yeah.
However, I'm glad they kept the Darth Bane story basically intact, so that's
True.
pretty good. So that could tie in. That they might even mention Bane in this show if
Well,
if they
Yeah,
show like
the
a Sith
Sith thing.
returning.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm most interested in is
I just want to hear
its-
rule of two. Rule of two would be cool.
Well, what I'm most curious in is I don't want it to contradict that one part of Phantom Menace. I don't remember the line.
That's
but there's
something
that
I've
line-
seen. There's some line Qui-Gon says about they haven't like seen a red saber in 1,000 years or something like that.
There's something about Sith and not seeing them for 1,000 years. Yes, that's my number one.
Yeah, and
concern
a
about
lot of
this.
people, as soon as they saw this trailer and the Jedi see that red saber, everyone on the internet is freaking out there. Are you contradicting Qui-Gon?
Here's what I would say they would do with that if they were worried about that is, as we know, the council is known to alter records. You know,
I mean, here's the thing. There's
and that's
definitely
what I
ways
think
around
they
it.
would use because Qui-Gon was not a member of the council. He was removed from the council, you know, so he might not know that there are records of Sith being seen prior to the 1,000 years, you know.
And the other thing now that they've introduced in the sequel trilogy, you can have red lightsaber wielders like Kylo without them being officially Sith.
True.
That's where
That's
my
something they can
mind
get
went.
around. That was my first
Is-
thought too. And then the other thing
there's
is
kind of like
there's a fan
Balin as
theory
well,
now-
you know.
yeah, Balin's technically not Sith. He's a Jedi adjacent. He's kind of like
yeah. Great Jedi.
well, they would call it Grey Jedi. In
Grey
Legends.
Jedi.
They don't really have a term for that, I don't think, in canon yet.
No, in Legend it was
Um,
Grey Jedi, yes.
It was Grey Jedi, yeah.
correct.
But
Yeah,
he and Shin are in a weird category.
yeah,
Can't-
Shin is
They still follow a lot of the Jedi teachings, but there's a
man.
few things that are different.
Speaking of man, Ahsoka. Ooh. Man, who are they gonna get to replace Rey?
Who knows?
Anyway,
my thought
So good in
for
that show.
Acolyte,
So damn
my
good.
thought
So
for
good.
Acolyte is that maybe the main person with the red saber there is one that like turned, but isn't necessarily
full
Sith
Sith,
status.
but is trying to
Like
turn
Asajj,
fully.
or not-
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like Ventress.
Asajj. Nah.
yeah, well,
yeah.
she never technically got that full Sith status.
She never
True,
got
She
full
was
true,
Sith
never
true.
an
status.
apprentice.
She was a what do they
Well,
call
she was an
her?
apprentice,
She
but
was
she was never a full on.
She was a I gotta
Inquisitor.
Look at the term.
Not
An
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
Well, I
No,
guess she was
she
that
was an
idea
Inquisitor.
before Inquisitors were.
Yeah, she was an
I guess.
Inquisitor. The original Inquisitor, absolutely.
an Inquisitor.
But
What they call her
that's
here.
my idea.
Was she an acolyte? No, I'm just kidding. And technically, she kind of was.
Okay, they called her an assassin of the Sith.
Yeah, she was
She was an apprentice, basically.
She was an assassin of the Sith. Sounds like
That's
an inquisitor
what
to me.
Wikipedia says.
Sounds like yeah, I know. It sounds like an inquisitor to me. Someone who goes around killing Jedi.
The difference
and hunting
is
Jedi.
The Inquisitorius was directly for the Empire, not just the Sith.
I know that, but that's what did I not just say?
Yeah.
She was an
But
inquisitor.
she has no ties to the Empire.
Yeah,
so she
Yeah,
can be an
Inquisitor
inquisitor
first.
without being an inquisitor.
Thank you. I just said she was an inquisitor before inquisitors were a thing.
Which, if the rumors are true of what's about to happen in Bad Batch, that's going to throw that whole inquisitor thing right out the window. She's going to have a redemption arc.
Patrick,
I'm calling
so
it now
frustrating sometimes.
because they're tying it to the what's that book? Jeez, the book that they wrote many years ago. They're basically
Dark
kind of
Disciple?
like Dark Disciple. They're kind of putting Dark Disciple stuff on screen, kind of, sort of, for Bad Batch.
Yeah,
Starting,
I
it looks
hope.
like next week. Next week that starts.
Could be.
Because I heard a rumor after this week's episode at the very end when what's her face is talking to the hologram, they played
I don't
Asajj's like
think
theme
anything.
music
Oh, okay.
when the
Interesting.
hologram shows
I haven't
up.
caught. I'm 2 episodes behind. I was busy watching X-Men.
I won't spoil it for you. Then
I know what this episode deals with, though. I think.
Look,
It's,
folks, a red lightsaber on screen.
it's I will call this week's episode Florida in Space. And when you see the episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I know what deals
Florida
with that. I know that. I know what you're talking about.
And it ties directly to the Jedi games. A direct tie-in to the Jedi games this week.
That'd be cool. All right, I do have one other thing I want to bring up about the
There's
Acolyte.
Daphne Keane as well. Anyway.
Daphne Keane, right? So I do have one other thing I want to bring up about the Acolyte, and that is that we have during this time period, is it possible we could see like the full-on main Sith of this period?
Plagueis?
Depending, like,
But
could it be
the rumor
Plagueis?
It's Tenebrous,
Or is it
which
his
is
master?
Plagueis'
Plagueis
master.
would be who's his master? Bane, right? No.
Darth
No,
Tenebrous.
Tenebrous. Yeah,
Tenebrous.
that's right.
Which I think
And
is,
so,
what was his
that's
species?
very interesting.
Bith? Was it Bith?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so,
Which they could change that in the
very cool,
canon
very
version.
cool.
I don't think they ever made it official canon that he is a Bith.
well, here's the thing, though, is we don't know of this current version. We don't know of how long Plagueis was active, right? Because
Yeah, because he could still be
Yeah.
alive during
Depending
this time
on-
period too.
because he could be a thing like.
It could be a very
if
young
his-
Plagueis too.
Well, you have to keep in mind though, is like supposedly didn't Plagueis have these life stealing powers that like
Yes.
Palpatine talked about in episode
Yeah.
3?
Yes.
We don't know when he started and was using that, right?
Correct.
But it
Yeah.
could also line up with Tenebrous still being it. It could be either or, honestly.
Mhm.
So
Which
we'll
that'd
see.
be cool if they're setting this up for a season 2 that, like, at the very end teases, "Here comes Plagueis." Be like, "We're finally getting Plagueis." That'd be really cool.
Well, and then then we get
Set it down the road
Plagueis.
for another show, a young Palpatine. With,
Well, then we know.
I know for a long time people wanted, who was it? Was it Fassbender or who's Doctor Strange? What's his name?
Oh, Benedict
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberfuck.
One of those two, they wanted to play young Palpatine.
I could say Cumberfuck doing it.
Young Palpatine. I just picture like young.
Yeah,
Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
young Sheldon or
young Palpatine.
look,
Young Sheev.
I don't know. Look, Gio might remember this, but he's Canadian, so he might not. Back when George W. Bush was president, they had a cartoon called Lil Bush.
Yeah, yeah.
He remembers it. Yeah, it was fantastic. That's what I think of, though. But could they then? Because I mean, could they bring into canon that Plagueis is the one that created Anakin and Shmi?
And that's a weird thing. That's another canon gray area because they've never really directly answered that.
Exactly.
However, there was a comic, but here's the problem with the books and the comics: they keep retconning the books and the comics.
Each other.
The comic, all the comic was a vision, though. The
It
writer
was a
came out
vision.
and
It was
said
never
that.
official.
Okay.
People just
Spencer knows
envision
exactly what I'm talking about because we went into this whole discussion about it. It's Palpatine, and it looks like he's using like dark Sith energy on like Shmi's stomach. And And so like, that's the
It's
one of the weirdest
running
looking
theory for a long time.
images. Yeah, that's been the running theory.
Unlimited power on your
she's
womb.
created her. But then the theory, if you only watch just the movies, you would think it's actually just the Force created Anakin, just the Force alone.
Yeah, like the
running theory, 'cause
Force,
they were
yeah, like
trying to do, like, the running
Jesus.
thing,
Yeah,
like
but
the Jesus,
the
archetype,
Jesus
yeah.
thing, but the Jesus thing is that God created Jesus and Mary,
Yeah.
so Plagueis is God.
And
like,
Jesus
like,
didn't turn into Darth Vader to
No,
bring
Jesus
balance to the
did
Force.
not to free us from our sin.
He freed souls, but he didn't free
He
you
freed
from
youngling
your...
Oh,
Oh, he sure did. Just not the way we
freed some
wanted.
younglings souls. All right, terrible.
I had to go get a youngling beer, Yingling beer, and be like, he's slaying younglings.
What do you mean
He's-
not the way we
hold
wanted
on.
them?
That's my favorite meme. Do you have that meme, Chris?
No, but he's slaying
Hold on.
younglings. There are younglings on the screen now, though, including our
Oh,
furry
gosh.
friend.
No, not the furry friend.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm gonna send this to Chris. Chris, can you put this on screen?
No, we must move on. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna like this one.
Am I?
This one.
I don't know. I
Yes.
might not. I think you're lying to me. Spencer sent me a message too.
There you
You
go.
say that.
I'm gonna
Oh.
go to church chat.
Marvel Unlimited has their first month for 97 cents. Gonna get for the promo.
Get on that,
rounds.
guys.
Get on that. Look at that. Look at that. And then let's see here. Oh yes, yes, yes. I will show this. Sure. Why not? Here we go. I like the way I have it too because I have it big. So like,
Hell yeah!
I
hell
have
yeah.
seen a security hologram of Anakin killing Yinglings. My favorite one recently. Hold on, let me see if I can find it so I can.
Oh gosh.
Let's see if this is it.
Else.
No, no. Let's
Something
see.
else. Sometimes things just don't get old, Patrick.
Let's see if I can find it. Damn it. Let's see if I can find it. I might not be able to find it. I might have to just recreate it. It's
Funny
really,
story
really...
about killing younglings. I think it was like 2 years
Funny
ago. There was
story
some-
about...
No, you guys are gonna like this.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
No.
Oh gosh, Patrick, no!
You guys know how like
Patrick.
pretty much ever since like Ahsoka, they were trying to start hyping up. Was it Mandalorian? Was it? No, what was it? When did Anakin showed up in what, Mandalorian first? I forget.
Anakin?
Okay.
Yeah, when they brought him back. When they brought him back into Disney.
Oh,
I think it was Mandalorian for the sake of it. Get the
Yeah.
story
Anyways,
going.
when they brought him back, they were starting to kind of do press, and they
That's
got
not what I
Hayden
do.
back out doing a lot of con signings and stuff like that. Well, apparently the kid who was the one from episode 3, who's Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. He's grown up like a bunch since then. He went to the con and he met up with Hayden. He goes, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one from episode 3." And they took a picture together, and it was like, I forgave him for killing me.
So I can't find the meme. Oh wait, no, here it is. Here it is. I found it. No, what? I can't find it. So it was essentially the sand meme, but it was the
find
Padme meme where they're in the field, and
Yeah.
she's like, right, and she's like, "So you want to
Oh,
go
yeah,
see Dune
right?
2?" And he's like, "You
Oh,
want me
the
to go see a
popcorn
movie about
bucket.
sand?"
Yeah, I saw that one.
Did
Did you see the one they did with the popcorn bucket? Says we're not getting the popcorn bucket, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like,
It's like, really, bitch.
That's
Oh man, oh man.
oh man.
So what's next on the
What's next?
old ass agenda?
Ass agenda.
Actually,
Well,
Seems to be the theme tonight
you
between the
actually,
popcorn bucket and Castro.
before we move on to the next one, I might have to take my leave here.
You are all good.
Get the fuck out of
We're
here.
all good.
About
Salute
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Gio.
hitting the old dusted trail. Everybody else,
All right, Peter Griffin.
everybody else, enjoy the rest of the episode.
No, they
Absolutely.
shall
Have a good one.
not. Later, Gio.
They're not allowed to enjoy it when Canada leaves.
No, they are allowed, and they will. You are on my orders to enjoy the rest of the episode.
That's right. You heard it. You
Your
heard it first.
orders.
You better enjoy it.
You must.
You better enjoy it, he said. You better.
All right. See you,
all right.
Thieves.
All right.
Good having you, Gio. Peace. Yeah, we got Sea of Thieves. Where they
On
gave
20-minute video today.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of like teases of what's to come. Very cool.
And some stuff that has not been in the game for the last 6 years. Like stuff that like I would have like when they showed some of the stuff today, I was like, yeah, I could have seen them. You know, if they would have put this in like 2 or 3 years ago, that would have been cool. But I'm like, all right, cool, heck yeah, bring it on.
Well, yeah, let's just talk about what each season adds, right? Because season
There's a
12, the
Mhm.
big thing with season 12 is new items and weapons. And weapons is the
Items.
big thing. Because from my
And traversal.
understanding, since the very
Traversal too.
beginning. Well, I thought the grappling thing wasn't until season 14.
Yeah,
Or is that
it's not.
earlier? Okay.
I think you're
So
right.
wait, what? Okay.
Just in terms of
Um,
everything they showed, there's a lot of traversal items.
Yes, there is a lot though. But season 12 specifically though is new weapons and items.
Yep.
Like new throwables. And so new weapon wise, we got this new flintlock like pistol. Looks great. Looks fun. And then throwing knives, which I think is just unique. What do you all think about these new weapons?
I think throwing knives, if you decide to use them, it's gonna get you killed by a blunderbuss real fast. It's like, I'm sorry. Unless it's like a one-hit K and you got like 360 no-scope skills and like you're just ready to just like kill somebody with a one-hit K. Like throwing knives is gonna be a little tricky.
Oh, look, you can use it as an actual stabby knife too.
Yeah.
That's
Stab,
nice.
stab, or you can throw it.
Looks fun.
Stabby. That's
Looks fun.
nice. Yeah,
So
that's
it's
nice.
almost kind of like
Stabby,
Call of Duty
stabby.
level throwing knife.
Stabby. Well, yeah, only if it's a one-hit kill, then yes, it is.
Yeah. And that
Oh, and you can
double
actually
pistol,
pull it
double
back
pistol.
and stab like this. That's probably the charged
The
attack.
charge, yeah.
Yeah.
I can already
Yeah, I'll
see
be very
pirates are gonna come on deck, and they're like, if you're in a role playing session, they'll
Oh,
like,
yeah, it
jump
was a
on your
one-hit
boat and they'll
kill.
get-
It was
they'll
a
pull out the knife
one-hit
and be like,
kill.
"Avast, matey."
It looks like a one-hit kill. Or they just have
When
that
you throw
guy.
it, it'll get. When you throw the knife, it'll get stuck, and then you can pick it up and then throw it.
Oh, that's awesome.
back?
Yeah, they show it there.
So you can pick it up and throw it right back at them.
Impossibility. It's only certain
Yeah, here
ones,
it
but
is.
like surfaces.
Yeah, on
So,
wood.
yeah.
Like, yeah, they showed it on wood. It sticks in wood.
Yeah. So
I
so
have a
we'll-
feeling
we'll
they'll have to
definitely
nerf it. They'll have to nerf it.
Oh, yeah, it'll take some adjustment.
Some
you
galley
know-
and crew will roll up on you. They all have throwing knives, and if they know they can get like even if like 3 of them miss, if one person hits you, you're down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what's awesome though? Something they also announced in this is they're having a dedicated team for what was it called? Like maintaining the state of the game, balancing and stuff like that now.
Oh, cool.
And so that's really cool. They're now having someone that just monitor the health of the game, trying to help balance things as much as they can now. Supposedly they
Yeah.
never had anything set in stone like that, but now they're having a set established team like that to monitor things like that, which is great.
The grappling gun scares me.
We'll get to
'Cause
that.
How you can go from like you can use it in the water and just board people's ships. People are gonna like if you're in a chase sequence, someone's gonna jump off the boat, sit in the water, and then wait for your boat to approach.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna grapple you every time and try to kill everybody on the deck.
Well, that'll be
No.
fun.
Yeah, it's gonna get extremely more intense.
What's
That's
this
for
this conch shell though thing?
It allows you to. It's like a wind. It's like a gust of wind.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
And
you
what
can.
they were showing
well,
is
which
there's
one?
Is
so
that
many
going to
different
be
uses
season
for it.
13 or 14?
That I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know which one that is. It could be 12. I don't
Could
know
be
which one.
could even be 12. Ooh, that'd be cool.
Wait, what's the timestamp? What's the timestamp for it?
Timestamp?
It was later in the video. I know that.
No, it's later. It's like 6 minutes.
That's season 12.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
They didn't talk about season 13 until like halfway through.
Okay, so that's cool. We're getting that in season 12 then. Awesome. Here, let's show that off then. Let me show
I
you.
love the show with the rowboat where you point it backwards and it turns the rowboat into like a speedboat.
Yes. Here, we'll
That's
start at the
amazing.
beginning. This thing is really
We're always
cool.
gonna have those, and we're just gonna be like, you don't even have to stay on your main boat. Like they could destroy your main boat, and then like we could just like go around the map on rowboats, just like.
We're also getting a throwable that summons skeletons. I just showed it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that
also
was
got a
cool.
cannonball that's like 3 or 4
here's
in
the
one.
wind thing. Yep.
Mini balls.
Mini balls. Wait, mini
Mini
or
balls.
mini? Oh, wait, both.
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 Mini balls.
Mini. Wow. And so,
But it's like a scatter shot. They do put multiple holes in your boat, but like they were saying in the video, because you're being hit by a smaller round, they're going to be faster to repair.
Also,
So
with
you can
the
use them.
floor-
Oh,
Yeah, just keep that
interesting.
in mind.
Yeah.
Faster repair times on
Yeah.
the mini balls.
Also, other cool things we could do with that wind horn is you could use it to use like a feather fall effect
Yes.
when you're
Yeah,
falling.
It's
I see
also
the sign,
good
that's the
for-
force. It's the force.
Someone should always have it on them so that put out fires on deck
Yep.
with it as well.
Yeah, you can use it to put.
The other cool thing is that you could use it to like literally like speak of using the force, push people away,
you can
Yeah,
yeet them
eat your opponents off a cliff.
off a cliff, and if there's ground below, you might kill them from fall damage.
Yeah.
Might kill them for fun. Exactly.
Especially if you're
Um,
fighting over an island. If you're like going after treasure or something on an island, perfect use.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a
And
skull
so,
fort.
that's
If you're fighting over Skull Fort.
Let's see here. Well, this does actually have the new traversal of being able to use zip lines
Yep. Yep.
or the
That
rope
excited me a
stuff.
lot.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
And the other
I'm
thing was
excited
the,
for zip lines.
You'll be able to use your harpoon on your boat to shoot it up at things,
And create
it
a zip
basically
line
becomes
down.
like it's like a zip line that goes down to your boat. Yeah.
I'm very excited
You'll be
for
able
all
to
the
ride
zip
it.
line stuff because that's the kind of thing like when you get to like the sovereign one at Port Merrick, I could see you being able to shoot it right up there.
Mhm.
And when you come back, you just slide back down onto the boat.
Or if a boat's approaching and you need to for whatever reason you're up in the upper part of the sovereign, you could just quickly shoot it up there and get your crew back down on the
They can
boat
go
without
back
having
down.
to
Yes.
jump into the water and swim
Good
over the boat.
call. Hell yeah.
And speed up the process of getting back on the boat. So, very helpful.
And you can do it with doing it with the chests.
Yeah, you can
Carrying
hold
the
items
chests.
while you ride it.
while you ride the zip line. It's really cool.
That's gonna be awesome.
It won't drop
yeah,
it
that's-
right at the
let me
spot
show
where you jump
that
on.
right here. We see they're holding it on
You can ride it. Yep.
Oh no! Wait, he's coming right
That's
now.
so cool.
Whee,
That is
there it
awesome.
is. There they are with their chests in there. Yep, and there you go. Just-
Yippee.
Yippee!
Very cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so that's season 12. How do you all feel about this overall?
I'm very excited.
With all these new items. Yeah.
I'm
need to get
excited to
back
just
and
go
play some
sliding
more.
with you guys.
Yeah.
It'll be like Fortnite with all the rails.
Jeez.
All right. Anyway, next season. We have what is this big Captain Flameheart mechanic, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
massive ship, 10 cannons, 2 front firing like fireball cannons, or some offense there.
Yeah, first forward firing ship in the game.
Yes, yeah. And the whole idea behind this is you can go beat this ship, take it over as your own, command this ship for your own. And I maybe since you recently watched it, Patrick, maybe you could help me
Mhm.
here is that there is something about like certain quest rewards you get. The more you do, the higher payout you get. I'm not
so,
sure. Are
yeah.
these like a completely new quests, or is it just doing quests on this ship? I'm not.
I'm assuming it's new quests. Some might be exclusive for the ship. Some might just be regular quests.
Okay.
They're generally
Yeah,
pretty good about establishing new quests for the game in general every season. So I imagine it's just more of the same they've been doing, just
Like the
updating.
new stuff. That would be cool to have
Yeah.
like more like Flameheart tasks, like something specific just for it. And so,
But they specifically mentioned in this video, you pull a lever to use the front firing cannons.
Pull the lever!
So yeah, Chris can literally yell, "Pull the lever!" and just.
And Spencer can yell,
what?
Wrong
After I yell.
lever!
pull the lever!
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
Why do we even have this lever?
Yeah, it's exciting. Cool new bow. I don't think
Okay, now
it'll
that I'm
be too
listening-
much use unless you're running a what's that faction
Galleon.
called?
Reapers?
The one that goes around. Yeah, Reapers going around murdering people. I see the Reapers get like they'll start their session by trying to go get this boat, and then they'll just go reap all over the sea.
They'll go reap.
So interesting that you say that, because I was just rewatching this. Or listening to part of it. Is one thing. It's talking about doing orders from Captain Flameheart, so I would imagine that being like specific quests too.
Quests.
There is new things with Reapers coming, or tingled in this. Is they're talking about Reapers are doing things with getting up artifacts. So it looks like, to me, this is like a new underground areas we're getting. Patrick, is that what it looks like to you,
probably.
Patrick?
I
That
feel
seems what it means.
Yeah, I feel like it would be maybe it's a new like Tall Tale, new Tall Tale set with a connection to the Reapers somehow as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
and they'll probably do that as a mid-season story too. They could always do that. Drop a mid-season like, hey, jump on, you could do this new lore.
Yeah, we need to do all the other Tall Tales and all the
We
other
have so
things.
many
There's
Tall
so
Tales
much
to
to
do.
do. In that
We're going to
game.
do them eventually.
Once I hit Legend, I think Pirate Legend, I think is when we'll start.
We're almost there.
We're almost,
You're
I've
almost
got,
there.
yeah, I'm close.
We got Spencer there.
Yes.
Chris is the only one
My
left.
turn. Yes.
Exciting.
So,
yeah.
Anything else in season 13?
I think that's the main stuff. They talk a little bit about like it looks like there could be a new treasure reward in it. Something related with these new whole like Reaper thing of where they try to find it. So probably the only place where I can find it, just like how there's only certain things I can find in the underwater section. So anyway, a whole new like quest environment, which is cool. And so it could be cool though too if like instead of it being a tall tale, you know how you have those underwater sunken temples.
Oh
right?
yeah,
There's
that'd be,
five or six of them, or however many there is. It'd be cool if they have those areas the same idea, like these whole underground areas where you just do them, rinse and repeat, right? Like 5 of those or something like that could be awesome.
Man, that shit.
Honestly,
so
that's what I'd
big.
rather do. Honestly, that's what I'd rather do because I love the whole sunken stuff, right? Going through.
Yeah,
and doing the
that
same
stuff
puzzles
is
over and
fun.
over.
We have a lot of
I'd
fun
love
doing
to
that
see them
stuff.
do more of that.
I like the puzzle aspect to that stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
It reminds me
season
of Nickelodeon's
14.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, season 14 we got well, this is like what I got is it's kind of like their stealth season about, right? Being able to do more stuff with stealth. They hinted at a crouching mechanic could come, being able to hide in barrels. They hinted at having a blow dart weapon that'll have different effects.
Poison darts.
I want the jig dart.
The jig dart, you shoot it and it just makes everybody dance, and then you just pop
just
him
like
in the
jig
head
ball.
with your
There's
blunderbuss.
Yeah, and it's just like the jig ball, but like, the
this
grappling
is the
gun.
season where we see the grappling part, where it takes
Which
a special
is-
kind of ammunition to use.
Yep, it takes any gun and turns it into a grappling, or does it only take the eye of
Reach? I think.
eye of reach only?
I believe it's that. I believe
That's an
it's just
interesting
that.
concept to use the eye of reach because it's like you.
It doesn't get
scope
enough
to where-
use either, too. So
Well, Spencer
that'll be
uses it a
helpful.
lot.
No. I mainly just use the blunderbuss.
Well, yeah,
A
but
lot
when
of people switch to the
we're-
blunderbuss because it's close quarters combat. A lot
Yeah,
of the
but
time
when
you're
we're
other
fighting the
ships.
Kraken and stuff, don't you pull it?
Well,
Well, that's
yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
use
different.
it when it's supposed to be used. Like the Eye of Reach, yes, more people will probably use it now. That's probably why they made it the grappling gun too, ammo.
It'll be very cool.
And this
They
is
had a
where
new
we'll
kind of ammo
also So really, we're only seeing the grappling gun in season 14. They haven't really didn't really touch much on anything else besides the crouching and the.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So
we can finally crouch.
we'll finally be able to crouch.
Finally be
About
able to
dang
sneak.
time. We won't have to use the sit
About dang
emote to hide.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ryan J, I do not know cheat codes for Jedi Knight Collection. Sorry.
Contact your local book publisher for a copy of 2000s whatever cheat codes.
Well, we could definitely go on for a little
They're
bit
on
longer.
the Googles, I'm
I was
sure.
about to say, I think we could very at least quickly touch on everything else.
Yes, let's touch on it. Let's quickly touch on everything,
Like,
but it'll be nice
quickly
to
everything else.
to get everything to end quicker than we usually do.
The biggest thing that we left out is they did this big hour-and-a-half event today called the State of Unreal, where they highlight Unreal Engine stuff. That's actually where this 1943 Marvel project was shown off. They talked a little bit more about it there.
As well as Hunters.
So Wars Hunters was there. Dune Awakening was there. Chrono Odyssey. Yeah. That game was shown there. But the big thing that stood out to me was they showed off more Fortnite stuff. The big thing with Fortnite now is that they're really expanding on this idea of what made Roblox big, of this big creator aspect, right? And they're having it now where you could use Unreal Engine, specifically in this new version of Unreal Engine called UEFN, where you can make your own experiences in Fortnite using Unreal Engine. And they're just adding more and more stuff to it, which is absolutely insane. And so they made some big announcements with it. One, just right off the top of my head, they announced that there's starting next year, where the main Battle Royale map is going to be in UEFN.
That's huge.
Showing that this system that anyone could use now to publish their own maps is on the level of what Epic is doing now with their maps. The other big thing is we're going to have full physics now.
So destruction of buildings, such
destruction. Well, the big thing too of things falling and
the way they fall.
Physics. Yeah. Like Lego Fortnite first showed that. It was the first time we ever saw that in Fortnite. Now it's here in Unreal Engine, UEFN for everyone to use. We're also getting they heavily expanded. They added for rocket racing, you can now build your own racetracks now out today.
Oh wow!
That's huge. They also added I believe it's today, being able to make your own Lego experiences. And they have out several pre-made ones now as well, which is really cool. One of the big so they have a couple different ones. They have a Lego prop hunt they added. They have a Lego adventure map that they added with cats. But then the other big Lego one is this arena. It looks like a fun battle game, honestly. But the big thing is that it's Lego Ninjago themed, which is the beginning of a big Lego collaboration they're going to be doing with Ninjago. I grew up with the first 3 seasons of that, and so that's really cool to see that. And it's crazy to think how big Ninjago is still going. Oh, look! Hello there.
We have a bearded dragon on.
We have a dragon on.
It's a leopard gecko.
It's a dragon, damn it!
She just woke up. She's in a happy
She's a
mood.
dragon, damn it! And don't you ever say otherwise.
She just licked my finger. She's Mushu.
Don't you ever say otherwise.
All right, you ready to go back to Mom?
For anybody who has ever seen the show Gallivant, if you've ever seen the show Gallivant.
Chris loves talking about Gallivant.
I do. You need to watch the show. It's only had 2 seasons. It was very, very... Unfortunately, it was a quick watch. Yeah, very quick watch. The second season is only 20-some episodes. But it's raunchy musical comedy, humor, but yeah. Great cast. Anyway.
Few other big Fortnite news bits to finish this up. Fortnite's officially coming back to iOS by the end of this year.
Yep.
They worked out a deal with Apple.
Finally. Fall Guys is coming in Fortnite. You could use Unreal Engine Fortnite to be able to make using Fall Guys stuff in Fortnite and actually being able to play as beams in Fortnite. And so Fall Guys assets in Fortnite now for you to use. And then the big thing here,
my Master Chief bean.
I don't know if cosmetics like that are carrying over, but the beams themselves, different obstacles. Do you know how Fall Guys now has it where you can build obstacle courses in the game? I imagine it's most of those assets are being carried over.
Okay.
And the other big thing, which is like Chris has been wanting for years, it's been in the files for a long time, and we've been talking about it. They've officially confirmed it's coming later this year. Is first-person Fortnite.
Yep.
I've been waiting.
We all have.
I have, as a
We all
Battlefield guy.
We all have been.
Which we
waiting.
kind of got to
First
see. It's
Fortnite.
kind of in there.
Yeah, with
now
the
a little
scopes. Yeah, with the scopes.
but it's not fully there
It's
yet.
not fully like being able to no scope, but first person. Yeah.
I would love like a
That thing.
Battlefield Conquest sort of like layout mode in
Well, you'll
Fortnite.
be able to
That'd
create it.
pretty Amazing.
You can create
Yeah.
it. You'll be able to create it once first person comes out.
Yep.
So that's
It'll be
definitely
like
something
it'll be
I'll
like
look at.
battle. It'll be like BattleBit.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Well, I think Fortnite, though, with what they already have, you can make a map like that third person now.
Yeah.
It's awesome, really cool what they see. Because, like I say, it's literally Unreal Engine.
Can
You have the palm of your, you have in the palm of your hands being able to make a full-on game in Fortnite now, which is so cool. And
That-
I've been thinking about checking it out. I just need an idea to make something cool that.
well,
I'm, like,
we'll yeah.
A D&D campaign game.
That's a dude. Get out of my head because I was just about to say when are Epic and Wizards of the Coast gonna get together
Partner up.
and do some sort of Fortnite D&D or Fortnite Magic or Fortnite something with them, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, something else that I think they revealed today. I don't think it's specifically. Well, you can use it in Fortnite. Is this like thing to using AI to help you make NPCs?
oh,
I didn't look fully into it, but there's something there that they also showed, like in the middle of the Fortnite
very
section.
cool.
And also being able to like use themes to like help transform your world and stuff. So, very cool things that they're adding.
Nice.
Like I said, if you know, like it's a full-on game making thing that you have in Fortnite now, which is really cool. I'm very excited. Like, it's so cool that like everything that you can do in Fortnite now with the creative side is so cool. And
Mm-hmm.
they something that I really actually liked is when I was scrolling. I kind of just glimpsed at it. I didn't have enough time to watch the full thing. I'll probably go back and watch the full thing
Mm-hmm.
just to hear all the insights. But so they showed at the very beginning was they showed like they highlighted Fortnite island codes of like maps that was like really well made.
Oh, that's cool. So people's work got highlighted. That's really cool.
Yeah, like that like was done really
Yeah.
well. Like a really good prop hunt map. One was like a really cool 2D mode. Like they have a thing where you can shift the camera angle now. People have been doing like fake first person things now because you could shift the camera. But a lot of that's been in like horror experiences because it's like you don't necessarily need the gun for it.
So more
but
like
I think you still do.
Well, like the Resident Evil camera, like over the shoulder more. Like, is that what you mean?
Well, it's faced like right in front or like here-ish.
Oh, weird.
So like it depends of like it varies. Like sometimes it's right here, sometimes it's more lower.
Oh, weird.
It depends. But the point is though, you can shift the camera to make first person experiences, but not official. But this also used to make like top down experience. You know that game like Hotline Miami where you go around and, like top down shoot people. Someone made a map like that was really cool. Me and Comic Book Fan played it. It was really cool. And there's also 2D experiences. So like
and you can take
like,
your
2D
skins
side
into it and
stuff.
everything, or does it have?
Well,
like,
yeah, it's just the camera's.
Oh
angled
yeah,
differently.
that makes sense.
still
That's
Fortnite.
kind of cool.
So you could run around as Mr. Meeseek's Hotline Miami.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I need to explore the different creative mode stuff.
I've found
for
some cool
sure.
stuff. We'll get into that sometime.
Yeah,
I love going through and looking at it every now
Yep.
and then. Especially if
Absolutely.
you get a group of people together, play like your prop hunt with a big group or your gun games,
Gun
and like there's some great
games,
maps people have done.
and you
for-
get XP for
gun
it, so it's worth doing. Yeah.
Yeah, you get XP for it too, which is
Yeah.
great. And that's the thing that I love about Fortnite now is we have all these creative experiences. You're still gonna have the battle royale being the heart of it at the end of the day.
Yep.
And then we have these new modes. It's a great thing of playing it the way you want to play it, which is great.
Yep.
And you all these things that you can use across different things for it. So I think it's impressive what they're doing because they're really expanding on this idea of doing a metaverse correctly. I feel like. Yeah. So that's that.
All right. Next is Patrick. It's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is what
so-
Patrick wanted on here.
We actually didn't talk about this because we didn't do a pod last week. We were all kind of under the weather and just busy with stuff, so we had to kind of skip on this one. But Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama actually just passed away, and I figured we'd just take a few seconds to kind of address kind of like some of the work he's done over the years and
In memoriam.
maybe some things. Yeah, in memoriam. Trying to kind of like pick
Welcome,
out a few
James
things that
Tyler.
we
How are you
liked
doing?
from his
James,
catalog, and
what's
maybe
going on,
talk about like maybe some of his projects you guys might have like found of his that were really interesting, or was there like a specific thing you remember, like the first thing you watched?
That's you too, because I don't. I'm not a
let me
Dragon
go
Ball
through-
guy.
So he originally he got popular for his manga series Dr. Slump over in
No
Japan.
idea.
And then he went on to create Dragon Ball. Everybody knows Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but I didn't really watch it, or follow it, or read it. Or
And then later
any of
on,
that.
he helped design the look and feel of the Dragon Quest games.
Okay.
If you've ever played any of those. And then he also
Interesting.
helped design Chrono Trigger, which is one of the most popular SNES games of all time.
Yep.
And then later he worked on Blue Dragon for Xbox 360, which was kind of
Yep.
Microsoft's first foray into doing JRPGs.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Chrono Trigger would be the only thing of his that I've had any
Chrono
interaction
Trigger's
with.
huge.
So
huge
that's
in
the only
gaming
one I
community.
would have had any real interaction with.
And then, of course, that inspired later on Chrono Cross.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he worked for
without it-
Shueisha.
Mm-hmm.
See what else? Look at his.
It's just
filmography
without
here.
a doubt, he was so monumental in his field, inspiring so many with his style. You see, he had a huge legacy. He leaves a huge legacy behind him. Everything that he's done, the biggest thing for me, I've watched all of the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and that it is a show that I like. It's great, and I've been contemplating rewatching Z. All of it because it's just so good, and I'm very it's great. A lot of characters that I love there, and it's very sad.
Trying to go through a lot of his stuff he's did in this list here, see if there's anything else that was noticeable that stood out.
Well, something that's coming out is he did a older manga series called Sandland.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
now getting a video
A
game.
new game, yeah, and he's not
demo
gonna
is
get to
out
see the
now.
final product, yeah.
Yep.
Sad he'll never get to see it finished.
He probably saw
probably saw some
most of
early
it
build.
finished, because if there's a demo out, most of it's
Yeah.
probably done already,
Is,
and they're probably doing a lot
yeah.
of post stuff because it's coming out this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
demo
See what-
is.
Yeah, it's out in a
so it'll
couple
be
of
out
months.
months,
See what
isn't it?
Let's see what
A
the date
month or
is
two.
on it.
Yeah. So he probably saw the game before he passed.
Yeah, I'm for sure.
He definitely
for sure
saw it
he did.
finished. He just didn't get it
See.
shown to seen in public to consumers.
Scheduled release for my birthday. Holy
Oh.
cow!
There you go.
Happy birthday to me.
Are you gonna get it?
Are you gonna play Sandland on your birthday?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
I
Maybe
hate.
will.
I don't like sand. It gets
I don't like sand.
everywhere.
Coarse and rough and
I definitely
irritating.
want to check it out, but I'll
Makes me want to
probably
kill
Coarse.
some makes me want to kill some younglings.
Younglings and some
Younglings and Sand. What did he call
younglings,
though?
sand people.
No sandworms though. Just to be clear.
No,
Anyway,
because there are no sandworms.
No, but we have. But we
There are
have
sandworms on
popcorn
Tatooine, aren't there?
buckets.
Aren't there? I mean,
Just the
Sarlacc.
Sarlacc. They're not like a worm. They're like a little.
yeah.
They're a worm, but they're not a worm.
They are. They're
you
like
do have that
And then
crate
a lot
dragon.
of stuff in Star Wars is inspired by
Worm.
Dune, actually.
You
Yeah.
have that crate. The original crate dragon skeleton we saw in A New Hope was like very much inspired of kind of being like a sandworm.
Kind of be like
True,
a Dune worm
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
skeleton, yeah.
Very true.
But then obviously when we see what actually fully looked like a Mandalorian was
Like
not
her-
exactly
Nothing
that.
different. Nothing even
Cheers,
close.
Tyler.
Oh my gosh.
Like-
Anyway. Oh boy! Continue on to the next optional extras.
All right.
Next
so,
one, carrying on, there is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Got a showcase today, which is the next Dragon Ball game. It's actually the next of the Budokai What are they called?
Budokai
series?
Tenkaichi.
Thank you. And so this looks
God
crazy,
bless you.
though. Have you all seen the cast of characters in this game?
I have not, but
Are
I
there
did
lions
see,
and tigers
I did
and
see-
bears?
I
Oh
think I
my!
saw- I think I did see a clip at one point. The game looks like it's straight out of the anime. It's scary.
It looks great, and I
It
can't
looks
wait for it.
amazing. Like I don't know what engine they developed this game in, but it looks fantastic. It looks like you're almost watching, like you're playing the anime.
They created it in the engine that they make games in. Didn't you
What was
know,
the name of
Patrick?
the game again,
Creating
Spencer?
it in the engine.
I'm gonna Google
Dragon
this,
Ball Sparking Zero. Hold on, I'm going to send you all this
Dragon
image
Ball.
of the roster. Okay, let me just send this to you all because holy crap,
Fine.
this roster is huge.
Fine.
I'm just
Okay, so
screenshotting
the
it from,
series was actually known as Dragon Ball Z Sparking over in Japan. I didn't know
actually.
that.
I'm just going to send you this YouTube link. Go to 230. But yeah, that was actually like its Japanese name translated, but then they changed it to like.
Mhm.
I thought you were sending me an image, not a video.
Well, it's easier to send that. Go to 230.
Wow, that's a roster.
Yeah,
That's just what they're showing. They're not showing who else is going to show up.
yeah.
I saw
you
at the
see
very
all
end they had
those
a little
influencers?
thing there.
Wow.
Did a very little thing at the end there that was like,
Oh wait, what the hell happened?
yeah.
There
You know what
is
it kind of
absolutely
reminds me
crazy.
of? It kind of reminds me of that the Shonen Jump game that came out a few years ago. The
Well, we
Jump
don't talk about
Force?
it. We don't talk about that game.
Don't
Yeah.
talk about that game.
We don't
Yeah,
talk
no.
about Bruno.
which that game had a bunch of other issues.
No, we don't talk about that.
We
We
don't
just
talk
don't.
about Bruno. Anyway,
Yeah, that's just a crazy. Like, look at that. We see all these characters, which is already a big roster, but then they have all these blank spaces, and so
Mhm.
it just shows to me they're really taking a bunch of, and they've been working on this game for a long time. So it seems like
Yeah, because I got to make sure
This
the
is the-
characters are all right.
this is the ultimate Dragon Ball game, taking what everyone loved from the old games and then even adding on to it a little more, and they go into detail on
Mhm.
that. But that's that. It's Renegade was asking what consoles they're on. It's on
All next gen, I think. I don't know. This one could be on PS4. and
PS5,
Xbox One.
PS5, Series X, and Steam. So
Okay, so next gen only.
next
Next,
gen and
just-
PC, but James Tyler is worried about it being on PC probably, so he'll probably get it on PC.
Now here's a question. Here's a question for you
PC.
guys.
Wait, what?
So we're halfway. We're technically halfway through this generation of consoles. So do we stop calling it next gen and start calling it current gen?
that's the thing, though. It technically is the current.
It's current gen
But the-
already.
but
It's
then
been. It's
but
already
we've always
halfway
been
through the
calling
life
it
cycle.
next
It's definitely
gen.
current gen.
Which is so fun, I guess, because the reason I say that is because I think COVID slowed everything down
It
so
did.
much.
It did.
feels like next gen.
Well, it's not just
still.
that. Yeah, a lot of people still don't have current
A lot-
gen
they still don't
consoles. They
even
just have
have it.
last
Yeah,
gen
it's-
consoles.
It's
yes.
a very weird
It's a
situation.
weird, yeah.
Situation.
Yeah. All right, we got two more topics to quickly go through.
Yes.
Next thing is I listen. We just have to talk about this. This is the main side topic. I was like, okay, we just have to.
Here we
mention
go.
it.
Here we go.
You all remember this little movie that came out a couple of years ago called Blood and Honey?
And if you didn't,
Yes. Streaming now on Peacock.
Oh,
yes. And if you didn't, it's Winnie the
I thought it
Pooh.
was funny when I went on Peacock one day. I'm like, it's streaming on Peacock?
Hey man, money. Okay, so welcome to the Pooniverse, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, team to unite Pooh,
Pooniverse.
Bambi, Tinkerbell, and more. But see, are Bambi and Tinkerbell, are they public domain? Or is Disney
believe
actually
so.
giving them money?
No, I believe it's all public domain.
Wow.
They're not giving them money. They're giving them
So
money.
this is
Look at
so
the
this is the whole
image.
thing of where they announced.
The image is fucking
They're
great.
literally doing a whole like
Oh, look,
lineup here, right?
There's little pigs.
So
Let me
we're-
open this a new
Yes.
tab. The image
so what's
is where
crazy
it's
about
at.
this? Yes. So what's crazy here is next week we're getting the sequel to Blood and Honey. We're getting Blood and Honey 2. I don't remember its tagline, but it's Blood and Honey 2 we're getting next week with Fathom Events, 3 days. You can go watch it. Tickets on sale now. And then I don't know the dates for everything else, but after that, they're doing a horror Bambi movie, and then a horror Peter Pan movie, which is where the Tinkerbell comes from.
Mhm.
And then they're doing a horror Pinocchio movie. And that all leads into this poster that you see here.
I see Alice in Wonderland because I see the Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, yeah.
I see Three Little Pigs.
Is that Pinocchio on the right with the creepy long crooked nose?
I think so.
He looks very wooden. That's got to be Pinocchio.
And then the Big Bad Wolf, maybe on the left. And who's
I don't know what all
with the syringe?
Or is that Little Red
Alice?
Riding
Is
Hood?
that supposed to be Alice with the syringe?
It's gonna be Alice. She's going crazy because she's on drugs.
you think? Like, oh my gosh,
She's on all sorts of drugs.
Yeah,
So she's seeing
the
Mad Hatter.
And this is wow. Who's that in the bottom right? I want to know.
The crowbar thing?
Yeah.
That's Horror Groot.
Horror Groot. I don't know who that is. Anyway, now I'm gonna have nightmares. Thanks, guys.
It's this is
Ronnie J says that is stupid. I hate it. Oh, James Tyler's comment is the best. He goes, "Oh bother,
Oh, bother.
bother, oh
Is that what he says when
Yeah.
he kills you? It's,
oh bother."
such a bother to clean up your corpse.
Man, this is just
man.
something else. Yeah,
Anyway,
the happy tree from Evil Dead.
okay. Anyway,
But yeah, it was too good to not bring up. Guys,
Pooniverse, and I love the name. It's the Pooniverse.
the Pooniverse
Pooniverse.
was a symbol.
Pooniverse.
The
Pooniverse
logo
symbol.
logo is literally like a ripoff of Avengers.
Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, is it? Hold on. Where is it? Where's the logo? Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
I haven't
Okay.
seen it. What does it look like?
Hold on, I'm bringing it now. There it is.
I gotta see this.
There it is.
Oh. It's hilarious.
Monsters Assemble. It's
Monsters Assemble.
fucking great.
I love how they're like clearly just like ripping off characters from other brands and things, and then they're like spinning it
Well, if
into
they're
their
public
own
domain, they're
amazing
not
realm.
ripping off. They're
Yeah,
adapting.
I'm just
It's
saying,
called,
they're
yeah.
adapting funny things we already know.
James prefers to call it the Poonverse. Oh man.
This is just too good to not.
There's
bring up.
websites for that. They already exist.
Oh boy. Anyway, the last thing we're gonna
18
bring
and
up
older only.
is a what is happening?
Last thing
Oh,
is
gotta charge your camera.
This
Alright,
is a
hold on.
new battery.
no,
Hold
we'll
on.
be done quick enough.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
new battery
uh,
verse.
All right.
Well, no, I gotta
So,
charge
next-
this one anyway, so I'll just do this.
Okay. So, next we have supposedly I believe it hasn't gotten confirmed, but it also hasn't gotten shot down like a bunch of big rumors. Is that we're getting a Teen Titans movie supposedly for James Gunn's DCU, currently being written. Yeah, that's kind of it. Like Teen Titans in the DCU.
Do we have
how
a
would you
listed
feel
writer
about?
yet announced?
I believe the rumor is it this project where I think the rumor is the same one of who's doing Supergirl. I could be
Okay.
wrong, unless I'm thinking of
Like
another project.
maybe they like the Supergirl treatment, so they went ahead and gave them a second script for Teen Titans.
It's possible. I think that's the rumor, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because I know that person who's writing Supergirl is also working on something else.
Okay.
And I think that's the rumor with this. So,
So
how would you
that's-
all
Yeah, I'm down. I'm
I'm
down
down.
for Teen Titans.
down for Teen Titans?
Yeah, I'm down
Yeah.
with Teen
Yeah.
Titans because you can
It'd be
take
cool.
also Bat Family. You know, it ties into Bat Family then very well.
Which we're doing in Brave and the Bold.
Yep.
The question is Robin or Nightwing? For Teen
Nightwing.
Titans.
I'd say Nightwing.
That's the big one. I always have to ask
But
people
like
because
new
which version of
Nightwing,
Teen
like
Titans
he's
do you
just
watch?
Nightwing. You know what I mean? Like kind of.
Just became Nightwing.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to have that in this iteration though of this new Nightwing because we're going to have a whole Bat family already established in Brave and the Bold. So it really just depends.
Are we gonna have a Nightwing already established? We might not.
Like a separate Nightwing and a separate Robin.
Yeah, well, you're already gonna have that. I know that because it's gonna be the.
Okay.
It's gonna. Aren't we gonna be getting the Damian Wayne version of Robin?
Well, supposedly
Wayne is
Damian
Robin,
Wayne would
right?
be like the newest
Okay.
Robin.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So that means
it would make more
but-
sense for Nightwing to be the. In
that
Teen
means
Titans.
Nightwing Teen Titans for sure. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. But and that would also mean Red Hood's out there and probably back.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
and
As
maybe
far as what Brave
Cyborg.
and the Bold lineup would go.
Cyborg would
Well,
be
yeah.
cool.
Well, that's
Teen
what I love,
Titans.
right? Is kind of like look at
A better
at the
Cyborg.
current Titans lineup is what I'd
Yes.
love to see.
Yeah.
We
Raven
did where they have,
obviously
like,
would be
Beast Boy there,
good.
Raven, Starfire.
Yep.
Who
I'd
would
love
you
to
want-
see Cyborg there. But he's not.
Who would you want as maybe like an additional that wouldn't normally be in the Teen Titans? Like maybe you could throw in there as like a fun extra.
I don't know. Like they're
Just
kind
to kind of be like, ooh, I gotta go see the movie to see how they click. with
Like
the team.
like Aqualad or
Ooh, I like that actually.
you know, or a Diana
Aquaman's been
Prince.
pretty popular in theaters. I could see, yeah, or like
what's
some,
Diana the Wonder Girl
Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl as well.
I think Wonder Girl would be great to throw in there. Wally West.
Wally West would be good. Yep.
So
Yeah.
you have a lot of great options for what you could do for Teen Titans.
yeah, you sneak in an extra character just to get the butts in the seats in the theater. 'Cause, oh, I didn't think about them being a Teen Titan. Like that would be some cool options. Yeah, I'm sure whatever they do, it'll be fine.
I mean, I have a lot of faith in James Gunn, but we'll see.
We'll see.
what
He
happens.
hasn't.
with
He generally
this
doesn't
whole
miss.
new-
He doesn't miss that often. So
We'll see. We'll see. It's the DC film side is all very heavily dependent on one movie. So if that one movie
Superman,
doesn't do
yep.
good, we're
Superman's
we're
the
not
make or
getting
break.
anything else. We're not getting anything else because I'm sure by the time Superman come out, they probably would have at least filmed one other movie.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But they're given a thing of if you're not profitable in 2 years, you're done.
Correct.
Um,
Oh, that's a smart.
For business
Yeah,
decision,
they're
that
giving
makes
them 2
sense.
years.
Yep.
Instead of giving them like 5 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it also depends too of what would happen when Zaslav sells the company, because his whole strategy right now is destroy the company, chop it up, and then
Mhm.
get a lot of money out of it. Well, everything goes to
Yeah.
wherever else.
And
Fuck
then he
Zaslav.
probably retires and goes off on a sailboat somewhere.
I mean, can you blame him though?
No, I can't blame him.
Still,
honestly, I'd probably
may
do
not
the
like
same
it,
thing.
but you do the same thing exactly.
Yeah, you look at it, you're like, if I was doing that as the CEO, yeah, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
Listen,
So-
I would at least watch the movies that I'm canceling, all right? Just saying.
Hey,
true.
good
That's
point,
true.
good point. Yeah.
So-
We're never gonna get that Acme movie.
Oh my god, don't get me started on that.
Oh,
You
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to.
get me
Yeah, we
started
don't.
on
Let's
that.
not
know.
get started on that. It's too late.
All right,
It's
guys.
so
All right, guys. That's it that we all had today before I start talking about shit that
we're
I'm not going
done.
to shut up about.
Yeah.
So we're done.
Go get your popcorn buckets.
Yes, I love
Thank
what
you.
Matthew said here before, and he said it again here. Zaslav, Monday personified, except you're like worst ever Monday.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, remember to share our shit.
Yeah.
Twitch, Linktree, YouTube,
Twix.
Yeah,
Twix,
just got posted there just a
Facebook,
moment ago. Follow us
Threads,
on all this stuff.
Insta, TikTok. We got it all. We don't use it all fully. Well, we use it all fully except for TikTok. It's like the only one we don't really use. We got like 1 or 2 things on there, and that's it. Yeah. It's like your Barbenheimer thing's on there. My thing about something is on there. I forget. We had another thing I did. Anyway,
Patrick's had a thing there.
was it Patrick Short on
Patrick
TikTok?
did a short of trying to Good Burger.
Oh yeah, the Good Burger thing. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Good Burger. Oh, what the hell?
What is this? I hate Mondays.
I hate
Let's
Mondays.
go.
Yeah. All right,
It's like
Garfield.
that.
Okay. So, all right, guys, we are going to end this stream. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a good podcast. And, yeah, we shall
Peace,
catch
everybody.
you later. Peace out. And
Pieces.
since Gio's not here, we'll do his whole thing for him. Peace and love, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Catch us on Twitch probably on Friday.
Oh,
Chris will be
yeah.
playing baseball.
Baseball. Bye.